paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy weird sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. In a roof vampire pot, then the goblins are hobbling round, coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
Come on, man. Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why am I walking?
This
Look at
is
my mana.
savage, come on, man.
Some of the best moments that I've had inside of dungeons are because, oh shit, we're all going to die. We don't execute this perfectly. And we hardened up at that moment. We kicked some ass and we got to live. Oh shit, we're all going to die. We don't execute this perfectly. And we hardened up at that moment. We kicked some ass and we got to live.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What am I supposed to do for you? See ya. And we hardened up at that moment. We kicked some ass and we just run. Run, 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 run. ABC idea today. Run. There were no Chiefs going out. Run. There were no Blizzards going out. Run. Apparently he didn't have a spec for Blizzard for slows, but like that's exactly why I run that spec. Because like when shit goes sideways, you just run.
Nothing pirate software. Pirate have this
Oh shit, we're all going to die. We don't execute this perfectly. And we hardened up at that moment. We kicked some ass and we got to live.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. And we hardened up at that moment. We kicked some ass and we just
Let's run. Hello, everyone.
Walking, bro.
Welcome.
This is
This is what we're gonna be doing.
Dungeons are because, oh shit, we're all going to die. We don't execute this perfectly. And we hardened up at that moment. We kicked some ass and we got to
run.
Oh shit, we're all going to die. We don't execute this perfectly. And we hardened up at that moment. We kicked some ass and we got to live.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What am I supposed to do for you? See ya. And we hardened up at that moment. We kicked some ass and we just run. Run, 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 run. ABC idea today. Run. There were no Chiefs going out. Run. There were no Blizzards going out. Run. Apparently he didn't have a spec for Blizzard for slows, but like that's exactly why I run that spec. Because like when shit goes sideways, you just run.
Nothing pirate software. Pirate have this
Oh shit, we're all going to die. We don't execute this perfectly.
Alrighty, let us continue.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
I worked at Blizzard
57 years. Man, that's fast. I'm gonna run. Alright, cool. We are
now getting right into Elite Dangerous. Thank you for coming and hanging out. We have work today at 4, so a couple of hours of playing. I really don't feel like going to work today, honestly, because like they just really don't. But I'm not gonna take off another day of work for a couple of weeks, like a week or two. Really can't do it. You know. I should take off of work. I think it's a good idea at this point. I don't want to hang it on. I don't want to hang it on. I put up a tapestry so it would be. Oh, shit. I pulled it and out of it. Yeah. Yeah. For the time being. For the time being. Actually, it looks like shit. It was better before. Yeah, you got it. All right, we're back. Let us continue doing what we are doing. Separate services. Not commodities. I don't need commodities. Actually, what commodities do you have? Yeah, tritium? Yeah, I don't understand why doing stuff like that. I have no clue why. And once again, welcome everybody. How you all doing? It's your boy Blaqksheep. We were playing before work today. All right. Yep, this should definitely do it. Work. Where's the other one I had? Yeah. Come on in. Come on, Max. Hello, everyone. Benjamin. But yeah, welcome everyone. Good morning, Morning Star. Good afternoon. Good. Getting there. Hope everyone's having a great Sunday. Yep. I hope everyone's doing well. What up, Max? Main main Ani location. Please. What up, brother? What up, Max? Okay. Let's hit this and then go from there. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck keeps happening with the Discord. Hey, buddy. Discord keeps doing that for some fucking reason. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. What up, Max? Yeah, my Discord's having a bit of an issue. Max, what do you keep doing that for? Why are you doing that? Get down, Max. Max, get down. Max, let's get down. You want me to have to make you get down, Max. I'll make you take you down. Huh. For some reason, it's not working. Oh, really? Now it thinks of having anything? Oh. Max, down. 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 Oh, you want treats. Going the fuck on with this. You guys fucking having problems with Discord? Anybody? Like, I'm having massive problems with Discord, just fucking out of nowhere. He's adorable. I love how it says closed game. Oh, back to game now, huh? Resume, huh? Yeah. Down. Down. I didn't launch anything. Yeah, we're just fake like we did, so everything starts running. Don't go to the edge, Max. Don't go to the edge. Don't go to the edge. Here you go. Yep, Nexus is very cute. We're going to the pub.
I milk. I milk. Mommy milk. I milk. Mommy
Oh boy.
You know the thing that I said was going to happen?
I milk. I milk. Mommy milk. I milk. Mommy milk. I milk. Mommy milk. Mommy milk. Mommy milk. I milk. I milk.
Hey.
I milk.
You little shit.
I like milk. 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 Milk, milk, milk. Milk, 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 milk. Mommy milk. Mommy milk. Mommy milk.
Now he knows he's in trouble. Come on, Max.
Mommy milk.
Go down. Go down, Max.
Mommy milk.
Go down. Down. Do it. Come set. Fuck it. Set. Go there. Come on.
Milk. I like milk. Mommy milk. Mommy milk. Mommy milk. I like milk. Mommy milk. I like milk. Mommy milk. Milk.
Right.
Milk.
Go
Milk.
off for a little bit. Actually, you want to know what, everyone? Once I get into this Limogun's pub, we're gonna fucking do shit. I really don't feel like going to work today. But I got it.
Hi guys, how are we doing? Chatty, how are we doing? TJ Blazer, hi. Kelly, how you doing? Ben Sims, let's go. How you doing? Kelly, I'm doing good. Hope you're doing well. Blaqksheep, yo. Jordan, Rick, how you doing? But the other TG Blazer, what you use to do accounts? Or you change your Christopher, how you doing? Blind man, how you doing? James, how you doing?
Yeah, welcome everyone.
How you doing? Chatty? How are we doing? Hopefully everyone's doing good. Right. Better copy and paste this. Chatty, come check out our memberships if you are interested. You guys know we have got the goal of 200. We are currently at. I'm sure we're currently at. What are we currently at, Chatty?
Yeah.
120 something?
Next little photo.
We had 126. Decent. Not too far away, to be fair. Too far away.
Yep.
Get one of these goals up as well, Chatty.
Max, stay down from there.
There we go. Beautiful. Oh, there you are. How's the car doing? I mean,
Max.
It's doing. I've adjusted some more settings so that it's going to look even worse, but hopefully it makes it a little bit smoother. But yeah, today we're just going to do some chill things, chat. We're just going to chill. See what
Max, stop hitting the.
I don't know if there's a
Stop hitting that.
around right now. I mean, there's 15, I think, when I joined, so there's not a lot. But
Ooh.
let's see what we can do. We need to get some cars repaired. I kind of want. So Natalie did do the she did do her raffle thing for that car, so we kind of want to enter that. Yeah, we've got a couple of things we need to do.
Good.
Yeah, should be interesting. Also, that thing is
Yeah,
so
we're gonna
bright
do
up.
that.
Oh my god, you see that, guys? course you see that. 'Cause
And
you're
the
blind.
Ellen.
But- Oh, I am using my. So I can't look that high. Let's use my phone. Look how crazy that is, guys. Look at that.
What the fuck?
You see that? That's a pretty mad picture. Hold on, let me put that on the Yeet. Let me post that on the Yeet.
Max, down.
Get zoomed in on that beach.
Down.
Wait for
Down.
it to pulsate. Boom. Yeah. Shit. Decent. I done a price on a custom pre-build earlier, 4.3k. 4.3k. Jesus. Hiya, hey, wait. Hiya. How are you doing, Neil? I see you in the chat. I was the first one to discover it. Of course you was, Midnight. Sure, a sweat. You're a bloody sweat. Also, Midnight, don't you play on like a 1050 Ti? I'm feeling like you right now. I feel like you right now with my fucking 1070. I want to use the Raptor. We got this with the
Max, down. Maximus,
yeah. I feel like you right now. What the?
you're not getting any of that. That's not food for you.
Oh, you did? Oh. Oh, you watching that? Oh, I see that. Oh, you watching that one by any chance?
Yeah, he's finding all like the snack food.
I know, it's so bloody bright. Jesus. It makes my car look like it's got a blue pearlescent. I'm like, I did not put. It's like, what the fuck? I know, I agree. But I don't know. Yeah, you're all good.
We're gonna get to this next location,
Definitely not illegal things. You like my little car, by the way?
and then what we're gonna do is grab. We're gonna grab something from downstairs real quick.
I get you. Makes sense. Yeah, feel free to use the driveway, I guess. Enjoy. She's working on a case. Protective on our bloody driveway. They're beast cars. Honestly, I've. A distant. Legally lined. If
Well, the U.S. is deploying destroyers and thousands of Marines towards Venezuela as President Trump looks to crack down on cartels and the Maduro regime. They could reportedly reach the country's coast as soon as tomorrow. Here to discuss is Dissident Project speaker and an immigrant from Venezuela, Jorge Galicia, along with Greater U political commentator and Venezuelan political refugee, Franklin Camargo. So great to have you both on. I'm going to start with you, Jorge. What is the reaction of Venezuelans? I know you guys are in close contact with people who are living there right now.
What do y'all do?
70-80% of the country voted for the opposition party against Maduro. How are they feeling?
78 voted against, and Maduro still won.
Then how did he get elected? If 70-80% of people voted against him, by force. Oh my God, that's crazy.
That makes sense. That
He has all
fucking.
the guns.
That makes sense.
That'll do it, won't it?
Yeah. Now I understand why.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Feeling in this moment, knowing that these destroyers are coming so close to
He's
the
got the
Venezuelan
cards.
coast?
Well, first of all, Rachel, thank you for having me again. I think many people in Venezuela are extremely optimistic. They cannot really be loud about it because they're facing.
See, here's the thing: is that like I don't know how many Americans I speak for, but I think that there's a lot of people that feel the way that I do, which is we don't have any ill will, animosity, and in fact, I would like to visit South America to see the Aztec temples. And the
I'd like to go all over the world, but I don't feel comfortable going anywhere
like El Salvador. And we
at this point.
That's amazing. We love this. You guys should do that everywhere. There's no ill will or negative sentiment that Americans have towards South America on a fundamental level.
Yeah,
and I think
exactly.
The amount of positivity towards El Salvador proves that. Like, I don't feel any ill will towards like a Venezuelan or a Brazilian or anything like that, right? At all. Like, how many of you guys feel that same way? Is this a joke? No, I'm being honest. Like, how many of y'all feel the exact same way? Because they're part of America. At the end of the day, like, they're South America, but they're still America, right? I mean, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, like,
they're the Americas.
And like, again, it's the problem. You got people like that that are in charge that are problematic. That's it. Same. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's... And so there's an idea that Americans are like, you know, xenophobic or negative or racist against South America. El Salvador just immediately deletes that argument. It evaporates that argument. It's not real. Thanks, I'm from Brazil. Yeah, no, we get it. Like, we totally understand. Like, yeah, absolutely. Chileans, yeah, sure.
That terrible criminal regime, if they express their gratitude towards the United States government and towards President Trump for the pressure he's adding against Maduro, they're gonna face horrible consequences. That's why you don't really see a lot of.
Why is it that every single one, like, isn't it crazy that like Stalin, Saddam, and now Maduro,
they all like us,
is the same general type of guy with really good hair and a really good mustache? How does it happen three times in a row?
Fucking small parsed lips. Look at his lips. Fucking weird.
Really? Like, is it the same guy?
It must be. It must be the same relatives.
Like Antarctica and like.
Must be the same relatives.
To do this? Yeah.
Must be fucking relatives.
Expressions coming out of Venezuela, but. You know, I have people there. I talk to them.
Look at that hairline.
Yeah, I
should be illegal.
One
yep, that hairline should be illegal at this point.
Activist who was holed up in that embassy for over a year before she was rescued, and I asked her, and she said it's a silent euphoria. And so while they're quietly celebrating what President Trump is doing right now in Venezuela, and frankly for the whole Western Hemisphere, Franklin. Meanwhile, Venezuelans who are living abroad are putting out the most remarkable TikTok, Instagram videos I've ever seen. You're seeing the destroyers coming into the ocean and the planes coming overhead, and they're and YMCA playing, and just the euphoria from the dissident community who's abroad.
That's fucking funny.
I feel bad for them. I'm worried about them, man. Like, that's a dictatorship. Like,
yep, that's a dictatorship.
For real.
Yo, what the absolute fuck is going on with Discord?
Venezuelan people recognizes that the Trump administration
fucking Discord.
One of the biggest allies that freedom fighters, Venezuelan freedom fighters, have had over the last 25 years. Is someone who has recognized that Maduro is not.
I'm good on that. Let's see. Stop fucking leaving and going and leaving. Like, that shit's so fucking annoying.
Is calling out Hassan for pretending to be some sort of main character superhero. He's responding to Hassan asking why none of his content creator friends are defending him. Hassan has called out XQC for apparently only doing transactional relationships, and he started a massive beef. XQC has responded calling him a hypocrite, saying he only collabs for personal gain. They go back and forth, and XQC calls him a jealous liar who promotes terrorism. Hassan calls calls him racist in response. Twitch is finally cracking down on bots, and a lot of people are being exposed. Hassan is calling out Asmongold and Tectone for being botted. Local idiot iDubbbz is apparently making a video about the drama surrounding his wife Anissa. Subscribe or you actually have to get a job. I said the J slur.
J slur. I gotta go and get a job.
So as promised, episode 100, I have officially changed my shirt. All the comments can stop now. A truly legendary event. Right, so last time we talked about Hassan pretending to be some sort of a superhero, right? Being the only one fighting against the forces of evil, that being Asmongold and the Sloptuber complex.
And there's only one person who is actively in the top, regularly duking it out with these people.
Well, Asmon has responded.
There is
the
one
top,
man
regularly duking it out with these people,
and it's you, the Lone Ranger, the singular Avenger, the man who stands against the mountain. Stop! Just please, can you just fucking please stop this? Please fucking stop. Remember whenever he watched the Superman movie and he said, "Oh, I can really relate to Superman." Oh shit. Okay, all right, yeah.
That person is ritualistically humiliated with ridiculous smears over and over again and turned into a toxic pariah.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be doing crazy shit, and you smear other people all the time. You do this all the time. You make shit up about people constantly. You do, and you know you do.
No way. Are you telling me that Hassan is not actually Superman? You're telling me he isn't the sole revolutionary, the main character who is saving the world from all oppression and all forms of violence? There's no way. Hassan told me he's literally a god. There's no way, guys. I, as a Hamas Piker supporter, actually thought that he's the only one brave enough to stand up to the far-right Nazis, being Ethan Klein, of course, and this guy who plays video games. You know who Hassan actually is? He's like that toilet plunger guy from Codename Kids Next Door. He's literally Toilinator, dude. He legitimately, like, he's an absolute embarrassment, but legitimately thinks that everybody should actually take him seriously, bro. Right, so then he talks about harassment.
They don't actually understand where that silence comes from these other content creators. They don't see.
I think this goes both ways, by the way. I think there are a lot of people who would speak up and be more critical of Hassan, but they're also afraid of his fan base because of how much he weaponizes his fan base on Twitter. He will constantly do that. He'll do that all the time. Like, the moment somebody's oppositional to him, he'll retweet them, he'll make posts about them, he'll talk about them, and then, like, also people in his orbit will say things that are a lot worse than what he says. And there's an entire, like, fucking, misrepresentation in, fucking complex that happens with these people. So I think this cuts both ways.
Listen, here's a central rule on the internet. If you say stupid shit on the internet, chances are you're gonna get some flack. That's just
gonna get flack.
Support terrorists on the internet. I feel like the average person is not trying to harass you. They're just trying to tell you, hey, this is kind of bad, bro. You should probably stop. You're leading to actual harm in the real world, right? Now, why is it that the average Hassan supporter seems to receive a lot of criticism on the internet? Well, it doesn't help that all of your supporters just conveniently happen to be the most degenerate freaks on the entire internet. From gooners thirsting after high schoolers that are literally your mom, to people wishing PTSD on veterans, to psychopathic stalking, doxing freaks, to people taking money from charity, to people talking about Jews and that
crazy.
Which I can't even mention, which is
fucking crazy.
Yeah, like, all of your company just absolutely sucks, man. It just happens to be the case that all Hassan supporters are degenerate freaks who should not have a platform, it seems like. People responded what Hassan thinks he is versus what he actually is, and we just got the ultimate SpongeBob reference here. By the way, guys, I gotta point out that this is actually an inaccurate reference because this sting is from the king of all jellyfish, Jellywick, and Jellywick would never sting Hassan. He would suck him off. He would never sting Hassan.
Oh my lord, the pictures. The pictures I'm seeing. Oh my god.
Hassan was complaining that his legion of friends that he definitely has behind the scenes does not actually defend him publicly. Obviously, according to Hassan, there's tens of thousands of content creators in the background secretly supporting Hassan, but they're afraid to actually speak out because of harassment from Asmongold, it seems. Just this fucking, like, everything is Asmongold. just like the Tooth Fairy. Well, Aspen responded explaining why nobody actually defends him.
You gotta stop bringing up the weird fucking shit where you talk about Gila Klein and being a valid military target. You think that people, if you think that you didn't see it that way, then why is everybody in the comments of her Instagram saying that she's a valid military target? Why is that? It's because you never had to say her name. You never had to do that. Nobody asked you to do that. Nobody needed you to do that. Nobody wanted you to do that. I don't even think you. I don't even know what you're doing. Like, what is this? So the problem is that a lot of people don't defend you because you do things that are indefensible. You do things like talk about valid military target. You do shit like talking about how terrorist organizations that kidnap people that are like completely minority, like fucking Filipinos for a year almost. What they're doing is good. Like, that's the problem, right? You want to get people to defend you, you have to do things that are defensible. You can't support this crazy shit. And then, like, I remember, like, for example, when that one dude went and shot those 2 Israelis at the embassy, you go put your chat on sub mode, everybody's spamming hearts when you're reading the manifesto. Man, that doesn't look good. And so, like, if you want to have people defend you, if you want to have people be on your side, if you want to go to the streamer games, you want to be part of the, sponsor events, etc., you've got to dial shit down, man.
Dude, I swear to God, this guy is just saying the most common sense shit, and Hassan is going to take this very clip, he's going to respond to it, and pretend that Aspen is the fucking devil that needs to be eradicated from this planet. Like, literally, he will take the most commonsensical take and be like, I can't believe Aspen is doing this, guys. He literally just said the most common sense things like, hey, if you want to be part of mainstream events, and if you want your friends to associate with you without, being blacklisted from sponsorships and shit like that, then stop being freaking nutjob crazy. It's that simple. And people think my videos are criticizing Hassan, which they are, half the time. But half the time, if Hassan actually watched every episode of the series, I give him such good advice. Legitimately, I just ask him to stop being crazy for a second, and people will automatically start liking you. It's really not that hard. It's not that difficult. On the internet, people do so much heinous shit, and everybody just forgives them.
Thank you.
Like, legitimately, the internet is a memory of...
This is from somebody I watched for a bit.
He just doesn't listen. Moving on to XQC versus Hassan.
I need to start designing shirts.
I was wearing it all along. I'm sorry, I'm a villain. I will never change my shirt as long as I live. You absolute blundering baby. You all fell for it. My master plan. If you fell for that, comment below, alright? I left a little hint. I think I left like a little bit of text here so you guys will see it. But hey, yeah, you gotta wait till episode 150 now, alright? I'm sorry, I don't get the rule. It is what it is. You know what? Not 150, because I don't know if I'm gonna continue the Hassan series, but you gotta wait till the end of the year, let's say. The end of the year, alright? January 1st, I will be changing my shirt, alright? Legendary day. Ladies and gentlemen, it feels good to be back in my home turf here, alright? Anyways, XQC versus Hassan. Basically, Hassan called out XQC, blaming him for a lot of past drama. Essentially, Hassan said that they actually used to be friends, but because of XQC turning relationships into this transactional thing, they stopped being friends or whatever. Now, XQC responded, absolutely crashing out on him, calling him a liar, and then called him out for, like, promoting terrorism. It's a hilarious clip after this, but a lot of this stems from XQC actually getting $100 million to move to Kick, and that made Hassan very, very jealous. XQC dumbfounded at Hassan playing the hero role when explaining why his generation doesn't collab anymore. He thinks his own perspective is the world.
I'm good on that. Transactional relationships become very transactional because, like,
Uncle Sam, yeah.
20, a lot of content creators were just like friends with one another, like
Dirty bones,
friends with one another, right?
dirty bones. Oh my God.
Content creators like the top dogs. We were all friends with one another. We like legit.
Good morning, Uncle Sam. How you doing?
XQC, even fucking Asmongold from time to time, and it wasn't like a thing. It wasn't a big ordeal to just like collaborate with someone, right? And at the time, their opinions weren't.
That would be cool. Yeah, it would be cool.
You're reflecting on that with like today's opinion.
Like, the man forget they all threw us under the bus for no reason. Buddy, did he forget that they threw us under the biggest bus that they could because they weren't making the money we were making? I mean, you're joking, right?
Throughout time, I feel like those collaborations became like more serious, more professional. Like there was an expectation a tit for tat. It became way more transactional, right? And people got
Okay, this man is okay, guys. I'm gonna say it again. This man has a problem these days, where he sees he thinks that everything is his own perspective is like the world. If anybody makes transactional collabs, it's him. He's the only one who sees these things the way that, buddy, you are making your own world. We don't. Not everybody lives in that world.
Oh, absolutely. I don't doubt this at all. For Hassan, obviously most things are transactional. He's projecting his own worldview upon other people, right? Just because the only reason he collabs with other people is to increase his viewership and increase his influence and, you know, spread his political ideology. That's his goal, people to his cause, right? He thinks like that. But obviously most people don't have a secret political agenda, right? And they're not trying to brainwash everybody. And from what I've seen regarding XQC, I don't think this is a case where he only collabs to get some sort of
standing in its field.
For a period of time, he was literally the biggest streamer. So anybody
That's so bad.
was literally small.
That is so bad.
He's just collabing with his friends to play games or whatever, and they don't really have
That is so bad.
anything like that. So it's just weird. He would collab with people who weren't even streamers at points. Also, I'm actually starting to feel bad for Hassan. Here he is, completely oblivious, thinking, oh yeah, we all used to be such good friends, you know, SUC, Asmongold, and I wonder why our friend group disbanded. Brother, maybe because you became completely fucking insane, dude. Like a radical freaking nut job. Like, this is the equivalent of finding out your friend is a PDF file. Like, legitimately, it's almost at that level where you're like, yeah, I just not gonna associate with you anymore. I should probably report you to the police, you know? But, you know, can you imagine an alternate timeline where Hassan and Asmongold are best friends? Dude, oh my god, I would pay good money to see that shit. Then Hassan calls out XQC, basically blaming him for everything.
I think, like, the big nuclear bomb in terms of, like, my generation, like, no longer having a sense of community with one another, I would say, was during COVID, XQC's
You guys real patriarch and never
this drama a little bit. He just like treat every content creator like an NPC, and because he was rewarded tremendously for that, no one.
I mean, meant for I mean, if you consider other missiles bystanders.
Somebody's gonna check in and just sit there. Are you okay?
Patriot missile systems meant for anti-missile. Missile defense.
Anything about it, and a lot of people just like
let
it
yeah.
It wasn't even just GTRP. It was like Among Us, GTRP, No Pixel. Every time there was like a serious collaboration, like that's where it initially started. There were some people who called them out.
Yeah.
I wonder who those people are. And you know, they got yelled at quite a bit, and I was doing that as a friend too, like at the time, because we were still close.
Welcome everybody. Remember to hit that like and subscribe. We are launching. Next location.
A lot of these guys were getting money from a crypto game.
And we're listening to more Pegasus. Everybody.
I am listen. This man is in another world. Yo, this has to be some psychosis. Chat, where's the camera? Chat, there's a camera in the room, okay? Is this okay? What's that down the chat? Is that honestly there's a camera, a Netflix crew is at his house, and they're filming him in a skit where he's the hero. The devil came to the platform, and I was the only one who was calling him out. I was saying, Felix, don't do this, please don't do this. Not the gambling. And then I tried as best as I could, but the world didn't see what he was like. Only I saw that. Like, what the fuck? He's crazy.
Dude, you can't be serious. Hassan playing hero again, dude. How many times does he actually do this? It seems like he's the one good force in this entire world, and everybody else is doing. With Asmongold, he's the only sole creator, the hero fighting back. With XQC, he's the only person keeping this menace in check. Like, oh my god, dude, the other week XQC was playing Clash Royale. What a disgusting freak, man. I can't believe this guy's allowed to have a platform. How? Somebody tell me, how is he always the main character, the arbiter of truth? And listen, you know, I've said this before, but I think it's perfectly fine to draw a moral line wherever you want to do, right? Hassan thinks gambling is bad, you know, promoting gambling is bad. That's perfectly fine. A lot of people do, right? But then you gotta be consistent with your morals. You can't say gambling is bad, but to say gambling because you don't have a consistent moral line, right? The only reason you say gambling is bad is because XQC got a $100 million contract and you did not, and you were unable to secure a good contract for yourself, right? So after this, XQC starts losing it and starts crashing out at him.
The whole gambling saga wasn't about gambling. It was the fact that like some one-off thing happened, and because you weren't getting your bag, then you threw everybody under the bus because some guys were not getting paid as much as the other guys. Oh, dude, we don't like Gamba, and they know that, and because people found an escape out of this fucking cycle, then it's our fault. Oh, it's our fault. We did this. Don't promote gambling. Promote terrorism. Yes, guys, don't gamble. Instead, be a terrorist. Boom! Holy shit, buddy, lock in.
Oh my god, bro. XQC is that one weird kid that is just fucking hilarious. So basically, just breaking down the XQC dialect there, he's saying that Hassan was never mad at him gambling, but he's only mad that he didn't get like an especially big deal, right? An equally big deal. XQC got $100 million that went very viral, and Hassan, we know this, right? He's the guy who brags about money at a phase party that is full of a bunch of upcoming streamers. So he's obviously holds this at a very high regard. He went and said, he was like, oh yeah, I'm the richest person at this party. So he clearly, you know, holds his position as a wealthy person at a high regard. He loves to brag about his money, right? But yeah, now
right.
he is, you know,
That's fucking annoying.
Zone right now. He can't hope to compare. Hassan might be very rich, but he does not have $100 million. So he's very jealous, right? But it is honestly just getting embarrassing, man. He treats other content creators like NPCs. Hassan, we just got the 4 musketeers behind him. Show the picture of Hassan putting items in the cuck chair. All right, come on. That is the most NPC treatment humanly possible. Hassan's generation, it is the absolute two gooners that were after Hassan, calling him a hot.
Wonder if it's fucking started up again.
He's so smart. He's so deeply attractive. He's so well spoken. He's built. I mean, I'm just looking at him the whole time thinking, you're like the full fucking package, dude.
Then XQC talks about how Hassan never actually collabs downwards.
Really?
Or, you know, collabs with people with lower viewership.
But that was just my gen.
He's literally instant defeated by the sense of his no free collab policy, where he won't collab downwards no matter what. And name every collab that I've done in the past. Hold on. And name somebody, the people that I've been with, that were lower than me in viewer count.
By the way, everyone, we're listening to this like, together at the same time, so I have no clue what's going on with this video until you guys hear it.
Only shoots up. Hold on. Unless they are a terrorist. Then it's full steam ahead. Please be on my stream. Please. Please. More terror. It's insane. The man has lost all the marbles. Buddy, the spaghetti has fell out of his pocket. On God. What is going on with this guy?
Listen, I'm sure there's a couple instances of Hassan, you know, collabing with other people who are, you know, in the friend group or whatever, who have lower numbers or whatever. But I do think Hassan is usually very strategic in who he collabs with, right? He's always trying to break in to a more mainstream audience, and he uses his so-called friends to do it, right? This absolute sociopath. Jellywig, of course, right? Now, Jellywig, as we know, obviously has a very, very mainstream audience, very brand friendly. He's friends with literally every streamer, the Hollywood of Twitch, right? And he has access to everyone and anyone, all the sponsors, everything, right? Because he does gaming and variety, and Hassan loves this. He loves that he's friends with Jellywig. He would love to get in bed with him and use him in order to reach a wider audience and brainwash the regular population with his non-stop propaganda. And I think it's very dangerous, you know, to let this guy spew his constant propaganda to a mainstream audience, which is why it's important to cut off this absolute snake, and anyone who associates with this guy will be clowned on by me. Oh no, now Hassan is gonna make XQC a military target. Is Hassan secretly the king of rage bait? I mean, dude, if your entire life is rage bait, I mean, that's just you, right? This is the KC-tron strat again, where like, I'm just trolling, guys, I'm just trolling. Hassan back at it again. I think in SCC's chat, whenever Hassan's name is brought up, they start spamming Hassan because he's a snake. Hiss, you know? Anyways, Hassan responded. Hassan calls XQC racist after X said Hassan promotes terrorism. Alrighty, the classic strategy, I guess.
Don't promote gambling! Promote terrorism! Yes! Guys, don't gamble! Instead, be a
That's fucking amazing. I love that. He is a Hassan is a fucking terrorist supporter. 100%. I'll fucking take him to court to prove that he supports people that are terrorists and he's a terrorist supporter. So, fucking 1,000%. You are a terrorist supporter. No, it wasn't fucking weird. You guys are content creators, and I bet.
And also the international law dictates that people are allowed to fight back against Israel doing a genocide.
Dude, there's just no way. There's just no way this guy's talking about.
Hey, you're an idiot. You did not know about the law.
I've never seen evidence of them doing that. There's no actual forensic evidence of any terrorist violence.
Yeah, propaganda is good to the. See, I was his own government policies. That's bad.
Dude, you're such a hypocrite. It's crazy. Also,
That's bad.
Embarrassing is to get intellectually dominated by XQC, dog. Put the toenail clip.
It's cool because like he basically went from he went from why are you calling me out for promoting gambling?
Run style. What?
I know that a lot of people in these spaces just don't want to think too much or think too hard about, you know, politics in general, and they want like a comfortable narrative, so they go, "Oh, dude, you promote terrorism," but like that's, you know, kind of a ridiculous thing to say about a dude.
Oh, you do. You dumb schmuck. You chug the good cock of come on. I'm not eating baker.
Has Hamas, the Houthis, or Hezbollah ever resulted in any children casualties? Just a question, because Hassan, the Lord and Savior Superman himself, really cares about children, yeah, right? He really cares about the kids. He's such a nice guy. And then he supports organizations that use them as human shields. You absolute delusional psychopath, bro. Also, where did racism come from? I didn't even see a single example there. Why did Hassan randomly call SEC racist? Did I miss something? Is like Hassan's fucking pea brain getting to me or something like that? Yeah, it's just a Hamas Piker special where, hey, you know, I don't want to listen to any of your arguments. I'm just gonna slander you as a racist so that my chat just doesn't listen to you anymore, you know? Right, so then SEC responds to Hassan calling him racist.
Why are you calling me out for promoting gambling? I'm also racist as fuck. I know that a lot of people in these spaces.
Because it'd be a funny joke, but he's racist because of something funny, like some gotcha or something like that. But there's nothing to it. He's not gonna substantiate the claim or anything.
You know, kind of a ridiculous thing.
Kind of boring.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's just not gonna clarify. He's just gonna put it out there. His audience obviously doesn't care about fact checking or anything like that. He's just gonna straight up lie there. Usually works for his son, so why bother? Don't need examples because they don't have common sense. Who responded? It baffles me that people actually tune in to watch his son. Are these people mentally insane? Yes. Every time his son gets any criticism, he does his annoying little and then laughs and deflects. Using the side defense, so boring, so intellectually empty. Dude, his little laugh is like it's literally like H-E-H, you know? Fucking annoying as shit, dude. Moving on to Hassan versus Asmongold and Tectone. Basically, Twitch has implemented their crackdown on bots, and a lot of the top streamers had a bunch of bots in their streams, and everyone's viewership is now going down. Keep in mind, other people can also bot you, so it's not necessarily the streamer's fault all the time, and it seems like Asmongold took a big hit as well as Tectone. So Hassan is calling them out. Hassan takes shot at Tectone's viewership post-bot update. Also breathes a sigh of relief knowing that right-wing commentary isn't as popular as he thought due to Asmon's new numbers.
Just a lot of people who are invested in right-wing commentary. That's what I thought, and I think I was a little wrong about that. I think that there is an organic audience for right-wing commentary. It's just not as big as I thought it was. Adjusted to their viewership is like Tectone, Asmongold's second in command. He's had a big cut as well. I believe he went from like what did he go from? Sully Gnome. Thank God you were wrong. Yeah, I placed a lot of emphasis on like organic viewership. I thought it was like real, and I thought it was and the reason, yeah, he went from like 5K or he went from like 5K viewers to 1K, 1.5K, to 2K. Hassan is making me learn about their streamers against my will. He dropped almost 50% of his viewers, but today he begged his kick YouTube streams to open his Twitch stream.
Yeah, this is
While everything the right wing is doing is real, I look at these numbers as a context.
There's for this video. There's
the political shift happening in the
order.
environment that I exist in real time.
Right, so first off, pretty sure that he's not down to 1K. Pretty sure that was just another bull-faced lie by Hassan there. Anyways, I highly doubt that Tectone and Asmon were botting themselves. They don't really need to. Likely their fans might have botted them or their org might have botted them. Tectone was literally calling this shit out for ages now, you know, saying that, you know, everybody's going to be exposed for having a bunch of bots or whatever. But I just love how every single time he conveniently never mentions the multi-stream. So Tectone streams on YouTube and Kick and on Twitch. So the viewers are obviously segmented, right? And Hassan doesn't want people to know this. He only compares Twitch stats, right? In Hassan's echo chamber, only Twitch exists. And he doesn't, I think he wants his viewers to not even know that these other platforms even exist, so that they always think that Hassan is always on top. Who responded, do you know why he's so obsessed? I speculated it has to do with he knows that Twitch won't throttle his bots just like everyone else's. He knows that he hasn't earned anything. He didn't build himself up from zero the way they did, and he knows a reckoning is coming. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Twitch was playing favorites regarding Hassan. Even if he doesn't bot, I don't really care. I feel like there are a couple streamers at the top who do bot themselves, which is
I can't see that.
just want to get like sort of recommended, you know, have the sponsors think that they're more popular than they actually are, etc., etc. People like Asmongold don't really need to do that, obviously. It seems like somebody has been doing it for them, right? So Asmon responds calling out Hassan again, asks why Hassan used to lie about Tectone's Twitch viewership.
Yeah, he went from like
Russia.
5K, or he went from like 5K viewers to, as soon as the bots went down, to 1K, 1.5K, to 2K.
None of them are different. None of them. Do the same person 12 times.
Why do you do this? Nobody asked you to do this.
Oh no, Hassan lying? Wow, I'm so shocked. I could have never guessed this, guys. Wow, oh my god. 500 fucking time, guys. Holy shit, come on. Are we surprised? Are we surprised? I guarantee you he's gonna blame it on his chat. Be like, I actually read that message in chat, guys. Well, don't fucking take everything you see in your chat at face value. Like, every single time, his chat just rage baits him and, like, tells complete lies to him. He goes like, I can't believe that happened. Like, dude, come on. Moving on to Ethan calling out Hassan. Basically, if you remember last time, Aiden Ross said that Hassan should be deported, right? And he said he's gonna talk to Trump about it or whatever. Hassan immediately started talking about Ethan for some reason. Ethan says, Aiden Ross says Hassan should be deported. How could Ethan do this?
Did you see Aiden said he's gonna ask Trump to deport you? Oh my god. Ethan is going to suck Aiden Ross's cock for that. Holy shit. Oh my god. That's so funny. Aiden Ross is about to be the #1 greatest ally to Ethan Klein and the pest that is also known as Destiny. Holy fuck. Asmongold.
What?
Oh my god, dude. This is, you know, I actually like Hassan now.
I just couldn't read that.
The ultimate socialist at this point. You know what he's doing? He's not donating his money to Gaza. He's donating his money.
What'd you just delete?
There's a wealth transfer going on right here because he's making sure to give me enough episodes to make me richer than Hassan himself, and I appreciate that. I honestly take all of my criticism back. Thank you, Hassan. For
What did I read?
moving on to local moron. iDubbbz, of course. Now he's talking about his next
It's
video
different.
coming up. iDubbbz hints that his next video will be about the rumors
None of them.
and Anissa. Oh my god.
Chat.
Different.
You can help me with the next video.
Literally.
Any, like,
Literally.
rumors or criticisms, maybe rumors.
In my eyes, they're all the same.
That you've heard about, like, Anissa and I over the years.
Except Japan. Japan's the only one that's different.
He's gonna try to justify all of the criticism against he and Anissa now. Dude, how much more do you want to be?
Circa now, not 1940 though.
the easiest thing to do would be just apologize.
Be right back, everybody. Give me a second. I'm gonna grab something quick to snack on.
Well, actually, Anissa never really liked Gorgeous Gabe, right? My boxing trainer was just mad at me, and he was lying about all of this, right? Which, in that case, was just a he said, she said, and nobody's gonna believe the proven fucking liar iDubbbz here, right? He wants to say that, hey guys, I'm not actually a cuck. My wife just relaunched her OnlyFans recently, right? I feel like there's truly nothing he can actually do at this point, because bro is so absolutely cucked and broken. He's just completely pathetic. He's now known as the guy who tried to sneak money away from a charity, 34%, known as the guy who backstabbed his best friend, you know, went in cahoots with Hassan and the orbiting squad, justified the CPS calling his kids, all of this horrific shit. His reputation is completely cooked, doubled down 500 times, you know, screwed over everybody. And yeah, I feel like this video is gonna be the nail in the coffin for his career, man. Like, it just keeps going down and down and down, and more people hate him. And I don't know why you would even attempt to do this, man. You're not gonna change anybody's mind here. Now click this video, or actually no threats today, guys. Thank you for watching. All right, I'm gonna let you guys off for episode 100. Not sure what we're doing next, if we're continuing the series or whatever, but 7 years on YouTube and still going strong, man. I am blessed. Love you guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for all the sweet messages on everywhere, in the comments, Instagram, everywhere. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Leftist streamers trying not to be pedos, impossible level difficulty. So this is Destiny. He is one of the largest streamers in the world. He is one of the largest political figureheads on the left. And he's out there debating everybody, making content about everybody. Dude is always live. We recently covered his crash out because his 14-year-old son is kind of ashamed to be a son and became a Nazi. You could see my previous video for that. I'm not even exaggerating. It's kind of diabolical. But right now, let's just say everything got worse because allegedly Destiny is being accused of sexting a 17-year-old minor in 2022. Destiny denied it, but that doesn't really mean much. Anyway, so this is what Destiny says. I haven't dug into it at all. Right. But she told me she was 19, and there are logs. Maybe. I mean, there's no evidence of that. Again, we will see. Innocent until proven guilty. Don't know. So Destiny does have a tweet from the end of a message from the end of 2024 saying that, well, it's weird, but she told me she was of age, but that is not any evidence of anything, actually, because that's the end of 2024, and allegedly was sexting a child in 2022. Now, again, the leftist trying not to be pedophiles challenge is truly an impossible feat. It really is. I don't know, you got Hassan Piker supporting every terrorist pedophile organization you possibly can. You know, going out there to brothels that sex traffic children and Diddy parties. You got fucking Destiny and whatever the fuck's going on in his community. I don't even know, man. It's absolutely diabolical. I don't know what's going on. It's almost like a lack of morals or something, but I wouldn't go that far. Now, anyway, Destiny's son, this poor guy, honestly, I feel so bad for this kid. So he's a 14-year-old kid. Destiny tweeted, that's disgusting, Ukraine has children, blah, 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 and talking about the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And Destiny's son says, since when do you care about children? This is his own son saying, why do you care about children, except for Rose, the alleged 17-year-old that he was sexting. This is fucking horrible. Imagine your son calling you out on... Like, this is a fucking nightmare. This is a nightmare. Find God. Oh, my Lord. Now, I have been saying so to be honest, I've been distancing myself from Destiny for a very long time. Actually, in case you haven't been aware, I did speak to him a few times in the past, and ever since, like, the first weird sex shit came up, that he was allegedly filming people without their consent and sharing around those nudes to other people, I was like, yeah, even for content, I don't want to have any part of this shit, okay? I don't want to have anything to do with the Destiny rape machine, okay? No, thank you. Not even for content. I'm just not interested. It turns out all these people are diabolical frigs or something like that. Now, he's been reported to the cops, and it's insane. And I personally started doing some looking into shit months ago, and there's just an endless slew of clips of this guy defending pedophilia. What is going on? This is Vosh all over again. Like, how? All right, so this is Destiny in a debate.
Just because you molest a child doesn't make you a pedophile.
Yes, it does. Just because you what? Just because you what?
Just because you molest a child doesn't make you a pedophile.
Yes, it does. Yes, it Yeah. So listen, man. I don't know, man. It sounds like you're preemptively trying to defend a certain style of yours. If just because you're fucking children, it doesn't make you a pedophile. So, and again, there are just so many clips everywhere.
Here, right? And you got.
I'm scared. Hold on, he's gonna say something.
Here, right? When you first learn how to shoot, it's usually better to shoot in the isosceles stance, right? Both arms are even, your entire body is like straight, right? Your legs are lined up with your shoulders, and you're shooting right out in front of you like this. But the way I didn't know this until I started watching her shoot, right? But what happened was when she fired, right? When she was shooting like this, and she shot, the way that the recoil traveled through her body would make her ass jiggle in the most delicious fucking way. Oh my god, it was the most beautiful sight I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. I don't know how it worked, but just every time she shot, the way that her body absorbed the recoil, there was like that ass jiggle every shot.
Bro.
Oh my fucking god. It was the best fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Holy shit. I like, dude, I really like booties. Damn, that's fucking beautiful.
Oh my god.
Now that's pretty. In my opinion, that's kind of gross. It's not. In my opinion, this is already gross, but let's just say it gets worse.
That is fucked up. That guy. I was like 16.
Parents, take care of your children. Keep them away. Keep them away from political streamers. Keep them away. What? Oh my lord. Anyway, so I'm gonna show you this in just a second. But there's just endless clips of this, dude. I don't know what it is about being in like the leftist debate space, but like, does everyone at some point need to defend pedophilia?
What about
child pornography?
That's kind of a different thing. There's like moral versus pragmatic sides of that. I've seen a little bit of evidence on the pragmatic side, and it seems like an okay thing. I probably shouldn't say that or something.
Yeah, you would say that, right? You would want that to be the case, wouldn't you? Yes, that's kind of fucked. What are we doing? Like, huh? Oh my god, bro, dude, what is fucking happening? Destiny said he attacks me, he can maintain plausible deniability, blah, blah, blah. Bro, you literally say in the clip she's 15. This is the clip of Destiny saying 15-year-old, that's attractive. That's a viral clip. I don't have that pulled up, but viral clip of Destiny saying the 15-year-old is attractive. And Destiny says, have you seen the 15-year-olds they're putting out today, though, implying that he's a pedophile? Obviously, this is supposed to be sarcasm. I'm not going to say that it's not. I'm not trying to be bad faith here. I'm just trying to say keep your fucking children away from people with blue hair. Oh my god, this is crazy. So, Destiny was recently exposed for sexting this alleged minor, all right? So, Ethan Klein drops a new video talking about the whole Destiny pedophile situation because my favorite content in the world is always going to be two retards fighting. That's right, the libtards are eating each other alive. Hell yeah, dude, it's what we do here. We keep winning on this channel. If you want to see libtards continue eating each other alive, you're in the right place. Okay, two retards fighting. So, Destiny. New Destiny drama just happened. Is the claim that the DMs are you? So Destiny responds, insane to see the guy spamming lawsuits at people, reading a totally unrelated set of DMs, pretending they were to the same person. I've never contacted the Rose person on IG at any point in my life. I love how he's saying the Rose person, like he doesn't really know her, but he does know for a fact that he sent her like tons of porn of himself and has received porn of her, but he doesn't know her. But this guy and his Hassan suck-up crew are chuckling along as they read off leaked revenge porn of me. You see, Destiny is the victim here, actually. Very high moral standards, I guess, or desperately trying to cater to your audience. Is the claim that the DMs are yours, but with someone other than Rose? Do you deny having a 16-year-old nudes on your computer? We'll be looking at that in a second. And everyone's just losing their mind here. Like, how on earth do you defend this shit? Like, obviously, there are some people trying to defend it. Destiny, like, he releases probably the most lolcow-looking post of all time. Now, this is the guy, by the way, for the record, that laughed at the guy at the Trump rally that got shot, that the bullet that missed Trump and killed a firefighter protecting his family, and laughing at the dead kids in Texas because, well, they were Republicans or whatever. Like, this is the master of comedy over here, obviously. Almost everything in this DM is wrong. Willie Mack is running cover because he wants to get in with the boys again, okay? And Ethan's trying to distance himself from me because you might be a pedophile, because he's too weak to deal with Hassan's attacks against him, using me as a vector since he's literally nothing of substance to contribute to this arena, or because you allegedly texted a 17-year-old. Anyway, I have no CSAM on my computer, which we're gonna see in a second. is not necessarily true. I've only complied with my legal obligations for my court cases. The 60 JB screenshot is related to a claim that Rose made. I am going to notice how he says the Rose person. Like, he refuses to just call her Rose, even though he obviously knew her well enough to be sending her nudes and receiving nudes from her. Like, it's absolutely insane.
Back, everybody.
He's reading off revenge porn leaks.
Sorry about that. I made an omelet instead.
To use an inhaler like a retarded child
Look.
for DMs that had nothing to do with the Rose leak. Yeah, Destiny's the victim here, actually. Any reference to rape or orgies or anything else was literally in the context of DMs with a 26-year-old British woman. That's right. He sexts everyone. I've never DM'd Rose on Instagram. I think Peterson was right. Me too. You, Zionist genocide supporter in the United States, loyalty to Israel first. Gila, genocidal IDF maniac, night raiding innocent Palestinians. Like, he just literally decided to go down the Hassan route to attack him. It's crazy. Deserve all the CPS calls for the dog shit eating claims and everything else. You deserve zero sympathy from anyone else on the internet when you're so quick to turn around and rely on the same snark shit that's been plaguing you for years. As soon as you think it's beneficial, I hope your prior May takes you for $1 million or lawsuit against you guys. Bro! Why should anyone be on your side if you're allegedly sexting children? Like, why does he feel like this is him getting stabbed in the back? For anyone else watching, you should assume that every single influencer person you meet on the internet is a terrible human being with zero values or principles. Honestly, agreed. That goes for everyone. I agree. Don't trust anyone on the internet. They're all freaks. Now, Willie Mac Show made a video over here, and as you can see, he got quite heavily disliked. And the reason for this is because he reported Destiny to the police for what Destiny told him. And Destiny might be going to jail for this. It's actually really, really serious. Now, Willie Mac Show was an ancient Destiny defender. He was a Destiny buddy until now, and he's like, nope, that's too far, and he reported him to the cops. Now, this is crazy. So obviously the Destiny community, which overlapped heavily with Willie Mac because they were buddies, and he was like defending him on other cases, they're not happy about this at all. Now, I would think that if I personally was like a hardcore Destiny fan, I would no longer be a Destiny fan if he might have sexted children, and he, like, you know, basically kind of confirms it in DMs over here. So let's see the.
That was delicious.
Video, and then I'm gonna look at Legal Mindsets coverage on like what's actually.
So let's get back to it. All right. Here comes the cutter.
All these sex-crazed, degenerate, hedonistic freaks are eating each other alive. I am telling you, man, it's crazy. The only reason why Ethan Klein is not like this, or not like all the other freak shows on this side of the political force, is because he's a married guy with a couple of kids. He has a normal, like, sex life. Everyone else is a sex-craved freak weirdo. All of them. It's insane.
I reported Destiny to the police. This is not clickbait and entirely has to do with the DMs he sent.
Hey, it's still here. Weapons removing.
Nudes with was seemingly confirmed to be 17 years old due to her getting doxxed. There is almost a 0% chance that she was not 17 during that.
Wow. And this is a Destiny defender. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my god.
So I do what I usually do and reached out to get a comment. He said the girl, Rose, told him she was 19 and in college at the time, and that the leaker Solo, who is her ex-boyfriend, confirmed that she lied about her age to him. This is true. In similar scandals, this is where people usually argue, is he lying? Did he actually know the age?
Hold on, as your three people. Audience are watching.
He was 34 or something at the time. This is a 34.
Yes, my 3-person audience.
What he allegedly thinks is a 19.
I really appreciate all of you.
Actually might be a 17-year-old.
I know you have AI for.
Regardless, right? Like this is.
I don't.
I'll be real here. I've been on the internet for 10 years. I've been making.
I should.
For a while. I have never sexted anyone through the internet ever. Never. Not even once. So it's so foreign to me watching all these freaks and their rape buddies getting together for like these fucking insane situations. All of these freak shows on the left, especially. Obviously, there's some right-wing retards too. Don't get me wrong, but like the leftist political commentators are all fucking freaks. How did this happen? Could it be a lack of moral? I asked the question. Could it be a lack of? I don't know.
Yeah.
Find God.
Uncle Sam, one of the reasons I don't like using AI as much as I should be using it because of how fast it is to find information. Because I don't want a paper trail of what I'm looking for. Which, yeah, Google will do that. I don't use Google for research. Happens to be one I do it once in a while, but not everything needs to be done on something that tracks you.
boyfriend recorded CP while sending me a screenshot of the alleged CP. So I asked to confirm if he just did that. If you were sending me this, I'm guessing you still have that video. Destiny replies, depends on why you're asking. But
Yeah, it depends on why you're asking. Because if you're asking if I have child porn on my computer because you want to go to the cops, then no, obviously not. But if you're asking on whether I have child porn on my computer to catch somebody else, and not at all because you want to report me to the police, then yes. Holy fucking shit, dude.
yes, I created copies of all of our messages and everything when that court case started, just to be...
Did he just admit that he has child porn? I think he's actually...
That's disgusting. He's not a law enforcement officer. Why would he have it?
As I'm talking to him, I go, bro, there's been allegations at least since my last video that she was underage, and you still have potential CP of her? He replies, I have an obligation to preserve relevant evidence.
Give me a break. Dude, stop. You have an obligation to preserve relevant... Bro, give it to the police.
I don't think I'm allowed to delete it, LOL. I don't know if it counts as hiding / destroying evidence. And I reply, talk to a lawyer.
First of all, absolutely talk to a lawyer. Why the fuck is this conversation happening? Obviously, it's ridiculous. And second of all, deleting your own thing that you have saved is not deleting evidence, as far as I'm aware. But anyway, I'm curious. We'll see what Legal Mindset has to say.
That seems crazy to me. Who keeps this sort of stuff on their computer without 100% knowing if they're supposed to or not? Isn't that something you want to confirm? Just let me know you have CP videos saved to your computer. You knew it was alleged that she was underage. You still have them. Do you see how this is? So now
Bro had child porn on his computer, allegedly, for years. Holy shit.
Confirm that this guy has child porn on his computer. In my 8 years of reaching out to people over allegations, I've never had anyone admit that to me. The last message he sent me was, I don't even know what 100% her age was legitimately less than 18 when these were taken. So basically, he's not 100% sure if he has child...
Bro, stop. This is the Giga Brain. This is the dude that says that how could you vote for Trump because he sexually assaulted somebody? This is the guy who's literally gonna morally grandstand every single time? Oh my god! But these
Let's
people
go.
are critical bitches, all of them. Oh my lord.
Child porn on his computer. He's just 99% sure. Got it. 2, I'm pretty sure I have an obligation to preserve stuff related to my court case. I've talked about it with my lawyer.
This is insane.
In regards to the Rose stuff. So we went from I don't know if I could delete this to my lawyer says it's totally fine to keep. I don't know.
I highly doubt that. I don't think he mentioned to the lawyer that she was potentially underage. There's no fucking way. He said to his lawyer, I might have child porn on my computer, and the lawyer's like, yeah, keep that shit. There's no way. There's no way. Oh my god, he's gonna try to debate bro against the judge in court. Holy balls.
Yeah, that's facts. That's another thing. It's like, I don't really trust where they're getting all their information from. There's a lot of things that with AI, it's just not. It's not there yet. Like, I have Meta AI glasses and whatnot. I basically just ask it what time it is.
I don't know. LawTube can figure that out. 3,
Then to record shit.
I don't know if I'd want to wipe everything and not have something to turn over to the authorities. Hypothetically, whenever a political career is about to
I am losing my mind. If hypothetically I had sex with 47 children, would it still be worth it to save the country? No! Stop! Dude, this guy made 80 videos on Trump and the Epstein files. I'm not even joking. Now, to be clear, I think that the Epstein files was handled terribly. Let's see, Destiny Epstein. Like, to be clear, I think Destiny Epstein, Myron and Destiny Epstein, Trump's letter to Epstein, Destiny's tired of Epstein theories, the truth about Epstein, and you know, this is all anti-Trump. All of it is anti-Trump. Epstein, Destiny hot take on Epstein, more. Bro, you are Epstein! Allegedly, in my opinion, that was just a joke. Holy shit! Dude, we don't know if Trump was on Epstein's island. As far as we know, he was never on Epstein's island. Alright, we have no evidence that he actually fucked a child. And this dude's out there calling this guy a pedophile. Like, bro, what are we doing? Rules for thee, not for me. Anything to take down the orange man, I guess.
Well, you know you're about to do some weird shit. If hypothetically her boyfriend or whatever was actually trafficking her, or getting her to fuck other dudes on video for him, and if there was ever some kind of investigation into that, am I hurting the chance of looking into it?
Insulted from no god.
Bro is not
the fuck are you saying?
porn future investigation into her ex-boyfriend, he'll be able to have child porn on hand to share to the police. There is no way this
Yeah. Sources. Yeah. Fuzzy Bear. Hey, buddy. Told you that was loud.
Advice that came from his lawyer. Maybe he's lying and just saying anything to make it sound better to me. I don't
How you doing, buddy?
Lawyer. I just know this guy's admitting to having CP in my DMs, 60 gigabytes according to him.
Oh my fucking god! Wow, dude,
What
are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, good. That's good. Oh god, I'm watching.
Creators, man. I think these are people in
Watching fucking.
access. You want a content
Duck
creator to have pristine
about
moral values, but you can
Destiny
never actually know
having
what goes on in someone's head.
fucking what you hear.
Religion against Trump for Epstein stuff, for sex stuff, for previous.
There's a lot of crazy right now.
What are we doing? You are the worst guy, bro. Unbelievable.
Seriously, how does?
And this dude says that like Charlie Kirk is bad or whatever. Like it's so mind blowing to hear how he is constantly coming up with moral judgments on other people. Like, what are we doing, guys?
Does he know the amount if he doesn't have it? Also, how does her boyfriend being in
He was just joking about the child porn. Comedy is legal. Holy shit.
the wrong somehow make Destiny in the right? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
For all he knows, her boyfriend could have been 17 as well. Dude, you were 33. I
Yes,
this
you're gonna take that.
3-year-old sexting a child, allegedly, potentially a 19-year-old.
The police and recorded my interactions and calls with the detective.
Bro.
Hello, nice to speak with you again. Sure. Yes. Yep.
I also sent him my DMs.
Holy shit, dude. Bro's going to jail. Bro's going to jail. He thought that just because Willie Mack defended him in the past, he thought that this dude would, like, literally defend him for having child porn on his computer. Allegedly. Alleged child porn. This is crazy. This is so fucking beyond the pale. Insane. He's going to jail, bro. It's happening. I can't believe we might be getting Destiny going to jail before Hassan, but hey, who knows? Maybe they can be buddies. Maybe the judge can put them together. Maybe that's part of the sentence.
With Destiny. I don't know if anything will come from this. I don't like leaking DMs, as me respecting what creators want on and off the record allows me to talk to all sides of the situation, builds trust with the creator, and also allows me to get follow-up statements for when the drama develops. But when
It is currently on a 3-watch streak.
that confidentiality is over.
Hell yeah.
If Destiny ends up being legally in the right to keep it,
What the fuck is happening with this game?
I did something. I'm just trying to do the right thing in a situation I've never been in before.
Holy shit-a-moly! Alright, so Legal Mindset just made a video on this. So we have to see the Legal Mindset video. Like, what's the actual punishment here? What is actually happening? Because this is crazy. You can't debate your out of fucking children, okay? This is not happening.
You get a shout out.
Then you, like, think of all the endless clips of Destiny. Like, he's gonna get absolutely reamed in court if this gets...
Nice shout outs, not doing it.
Endless clips of him defending child porn, like, hypothetically, of course. Of him defending child porn in previous debates, of him going out there and like saying, well, actually, she was a very attractive 15-year-old. Like, that shit is all gonna get brought up. He is
Fucking weird.
insane. Like, what is
That's
going on?
nasty.
What is happening? Holy shit, bro. When people say that leftists are like the party of pedophiles, like, I thought that they were referring to, like, you know, like trans people trying to get children to cut their penises off. Not the fact that it was like literally the party of pedophiles. Holy shit. Alright, let's go. Alright, Legal Mindset. What do we got? Alright.
Streamer Destiny may be legally trapped as we look at this new scandal, and we're turning to what may be criminal charges. Of course, I'm into our American.
Yeah. Bro really might be going to jail.
What was it?
Reported to the authorities. I mean, obviously his audience is reported because I mean they made
My friend works there. And knows I was trying to get out of cleaning up dead bodies, the gunk from dead bodies, and that had electronics, like, I've messed around with electronics before, you know, like soldering and stuff, and wiring systems and whatnot, that I could probably do it. And if I put my mind to that, I was gonna end up like excelling at it. So, you know,
I'm gonna refer to
here I am.
CSAM. I know people like to use the cute cheese pizza stuff, and it's good enough for an emoji or something else somewhere. But I'm gonna use CSAM because that's the professional.
Oh, wow.
Child sexual assault material or child sexual abuse material.
Nation, and it just talks
What
about
up?
it in a more professional way. So that's what I try to go for on my channel. Please be respectful.
You're about to say the N-word. That's funny.
And I would deeply
just kidding.
truly hurtful to a large
Dude, like you could have.
Hold on. How you been, bro?
This isn't just bad political takes, okay? This isn't theater. This
Yeah, can you hear me?
Fun of Texas children drowning.
Oh.
Making fun of people at
This
Trump
is gonna be one of those things, huh?
This is a man that has allegedly abused children, potentially more than one. Like this is crazy. Like it's insane.
Population. So let's go into the introduction. First of all, I previously covered his ongoing civil lawsuit.
Yeah.
So you can
So currently he's in the middle of a civil lawsuit. I covered this in the past as well. One of his gooners, all right, was suing him for allegedly filming her without consent and sharing those videos, those sexual content that he allegedly filmed without consent and shared that with other people, which he admits to have doing, by the way. That part is not an allegation. He did, in fact, send those to other people, and those other people got their accounts hacked, and the stuff got leaked. So I still have Destiny Dick Riders in my
Yo, can you hear me?
I don't care what you have to say. He's sending film. He filmed people and sent that shit to other people, and he admits it. Oh, what are we doing? Without consent? What are we doing?
check out my previous video for that information.
Yeah, can you hear me?
However, this does relate and not relate to his ongoing lawsuit.
Well, it does kind of relate because it turns out
Hey, can you hear me?
everyone in his community. It's a giant cum orgy of
Hello.
retards and potentially children now.
Yo, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Pixie's lawyers will be very interested in getting.
You should be able to hear me.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like the lawyer just whips out the Uno reverse card, and also he's a pedophile.
Good.
Oh my
My
God.
Discord's having
twists and turns.
super
What I wanna
craziness.
really focus on today is the latest controversy in the legal issues presented.
I don't know why.
I'm not focusing on the interstreaming drama. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm not going to bring up, Saint Piker in this one, right? It really doesn't have anything to do
Yeah,
with him.
but
He's compliant
I'm going
with
back to the
everybody else.
game.
It really has to do with Destiny and the legal.
Game is also like everything's like
So that's our focus
That's
today.
an issue.
And the last thing I'm going to say, and I've said this before, is like with all of my videos, I have no
I
personal
have zero
bias
idea
or
why.
anything against Destiny. And frankly, I don't care how this turns out. So it really isn't something that I'm
What?
against. And what I want to say is, if you're a fan of Destiny, if you're Destiny who's tuning in to watch this, right, please watch this with an open mind, because this both presents the challenges, the things he stepped in, as well as, hey,
Why it sounds like craziness.
The fact that he's yapping before talking to a lawyer just shows he's actually retarded.
That's crazy.
Honestly, I think that like the argument that Destiny is like it's super genius, that argument is dead. He's literally admitted, allegedly, to having child porn on his computer before talking to a lawyer. Like, this dude is a retard. He is a retard. He is a retarded man. I don't want anyone to say, how can you dare? Papa Destiny has an IQ of 137. No, he doesn't. All right, he has an IQ of 102, maybe. But at least somewhere between 98 and 102, if I had to estimate. Sitting pretty with, a lot of fast speaking. But this is crazy.
Because at this point you're at where you're at. So what do you think? So listen to open mind, whether you're for or against Destiny, whatever side you're on, just try to focus on the law and what is objective in here, because all of this is really objective information. So let's get into explaining the controversy. Now, you guys can go over and watch this 4-minute video. I reported Destiny to the police by Willie Mack. If you want to see the whole video, I'll have it on my live version. You can watch the whole thing there. But as a quick summary, on this expose video, the streamer Willie Mack contacted Destiny when Rose seemingly was confirmed as underage, confirmed on other party and when explicit material is being shared with her. So this girl is underage and receiving explicit material.
And sending.
That's not something that's good. So they were talking, and as part of that voluntary conversation, once again, Destiny.
What a fucking retard. Like, what an idiot. Like, obviously, I'm happy that this happened because I actually, like a lot of lawyers say, Destiny, don't speak, talk to a lawyer. I'm actually not on that perspective at all. I firmly believe in Operation Let Them Speak. If they really want to put their own foot in their own mouth, then power to them. All right? Like, I don't okay, you can plead the fifth if you want. You don't have to divulge information, but if you want to,
They might hear you better.
sad about
This person.
Operation Let Them Speak.
He chose. This is a big deal. He voluntarily engaged with Willie. There was no legal obligation. This was not a deposition. This was not something law. This is something he did because he just wanted to talk. He just wanted to get it out there. And this is a big problem for streamers because they often talk about stuff.
It's funny.
For solution.
I don't think that's actually what they're going to be saying. And that person probably went, depending on how like they were. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, Uncle Sam.
And that's exactly what happened here today. Destiny voluntarily commented, likely without consulting his lawyer. I'm almost certain that he did not talk to his lawyer before he.
We saw those messages.
And he shared a video where Rose, apparently, according to all the data, appeared to be underage at the time. Therefore, he shared an adult video. Of course, a piece of it. He didn't share the actual video file itself, but he had the file name and he had a top of the video where she was underage and stated, hey, yeah, I've got this. I've still got this information. I've got this on my computer, right, where this girl is apparently a minor.
Yeah, jail.
Therefore, this would be what would
jail.
be CSAIL. I've got that on my computer. And Destiny.
Oh, we got a penis guillotine Destiny. Oh my god. What is going on with the fucking pedophiles, bro? What is going on?
Crazy.
What's happening?
His defense to that, his kind of pushback when he was questioned about it, really was, oh, I have a legal duty, I have a legal obligation to preserve evidence. So, of course, Willie turned around and then reported Destiny to the police, in addition to making a video for him, which I'll put in the description below.
All right.
So, what happened afterwards? Well, of course, Destiny goes and...
This is what they call a crash.
What the fuck?
I showed you this tweet already. Him just going talking about.
I don't even. I can't take you seriously.
Because I hate Ethan because Ethan called me out, and then I hope you die and your children get fucking cancer and shit. Like he literally crashed out. Dramatic crash out.
He fights back. He goes and comments back.
Yeah, like this will work for maybe his like close hardcore fans that think he could do no wrong because he's more important for the cause. By the way, whatever. I'm not going to release this information at this moment because that's nobody's business. But I personally have seen so many people like in the leftist space say, I know that Destiny is the degenerate sex pest freak. However, despite that, he's too important to the cause of the left to actually discard him. Are you retarded? Yo, man's a pedophile.
Your man's a pedo.
What are we doing? Are you retarded, bro? What are you doing? You want the pedophiles to save the country from the pedophiles? Like really? Is
What
that
the
the
fuck?
strat?
Almost everything at DM is wrong.
Okay, that's a little tangent. Just for conversation for social skills. Yeah, it's fine.
So he kind of basically.
I think it's just funny. I just don't know what to say. Yeah. Don't go into Dollar Trees. Can't handle people ripping it. Walmart's too, though. You have to skip the Walmart. In the aisle of Walmart. What?
But Pandora's box is open.
Court cases. The 60 gigabyte screenshot
What?
to claim that
The fuck? What? Wait, what did it?
This shit is going to.
That's funny.
It's going to be absolutely nuclear. When all the information comes out, and it will. A lot of people say nothing ever happens.
We all are crazy.
Justice comes around. Pedo cucks, please enter your meat into a grinder.
Problem is, it seems
Pedo fuck, please enter your fuck into this grinder.
There is so much evidence that she was 17.
The sources are correct. If those sources have indeed pulled up the right information, then it appears that...
I see so many more comments saying, but
Jesus.
So close, 16 is the age of consent in so many places. What are you talking about?
Join the squadron.
This is a 33-year-old man allegedly fucking gooning to children. All right, allegedly. Defending child porn multiple times. Saying that 15-year-olds are attractive all the time. How the jiggling butt of 16-year-olds turns him on. All right, he's out there constantly yapping about this shit. Like, is this really yo man's? Is this really yo man's? Because the age of consent in some places are 16.
We've got a new member on the squad.
If he wasn't your favorite streamer, like, it's so black and white obvious, in my opinion, that this is immoral, fucking disgusting shit, that I don't even hear the other perspective. Normally, I like hearing both sides. Like, you know, with Hassan Piker, I can hear the other side. The other side is he supports the terrorists because he does support killing all the Jews, all right? That's the other side, all right? That's the other side. With Destiny, what's the other side? Being pro-pedophile? Like, what is the other side here?
If that is confirmed, that would indeed be CCM. So he may be asserting that it's not based on a mistake of fact, talking about today. However, that can entirely change things legally. So let's get into how this splice is legal.
All right.
So preservation of evidence. So channel fans and you guys out there know the term. Big fans out there know the term spoliation. You guys know about that. I've taught you that because it comes up time and time again with people deleting evidence. I talked about that in the Ethan Klein case with the Reddit and Discord mods trying to delete stuff, right, or hide stuff. Is there anybody else trying to hide stuff? That would be spoliation. If there's
Spoliation starts once the lawsuit starts. Now, then
Us
spoliation.
target audience do not like to go outside of their homes, according to Brandon Herrera.
That's the worst defense I've ever heard.
trying to
Yeah.
hide evidence, that is a problem because once a lawsuit starts, whether it's civil
That's
or
funny.
criminal, does not matter. You have a duty to preserve evidence.
Yeah, once the lawsuit starts.
What, the YouTube watchers?
Child porn because maybe her ex-boyfriend at some point is going to be in a court case and we have evidence that there is.
Yeah. This is gonna take one whole year to get there.
Anything relevant to the case, that's very broad. Right? Anything relevant broadly, you have to preserve. So any attempt to hide or punish or destroy that evidence that's relevant, try to hide it or destroy it, you can be punished by the court, including criminally, for trying to hide or destroy evidence. So Destiny, when he said he has a legal
Other
remedy,
people,
Destiny fans, Destiny is right about it. However, sort of right about that.
He's only right about that if there were in the middle of a lawsuit. He is not in the middle of a lawsuit where this is.
And he's forgetting about all those other duties that are out there.
No, I don't. My people didn't listen to German music.
Privilege, and this is where I think he did not talk to his lawyer. Because if his lawyer knew he was going to have this conversation, he certainly said no, because it made him.
Why did he say it? Okay, you can understand. The bro needed to yap. He needed to tell someone, right? And he just did. I mean, Destiny, father figureless, Destiny over here. From an
Oh, God.
From an absentee father. Bro, Destiny has been absolutely cooked. This is crazy. It's insane. It's insane.
What? I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying.
Because like his YouTube channel isn't like super freaking massive. Like he is a known name in the fucking debate world, right? In the
Well, they don't have music. No, they never said they don't. They don't have music.
7 million views. He was on Jubilee. Destiny was on. Oh, where else was he? He was on Jordan Peterson, right? Like,
No, I never said that. No, my people wouldn't listen to their music. My people wouldn't be listening to. Yeah, no. As an American, we wouldn't be listening to German music. Back when you're talking about older people. I'm saying back in those days they wouldn't be listening to German music. Like not my people.
Breaking Bad, you know, with Saul Goodman. My goat. And attorney confidentiality is strong. It's very strong, but it's not unbreakable.
Yeah, not to get fucking.
No.
It's like, yeah, I killed that guy. All right, go on.
There is supposed to be theoretically a balance. Now, of course, I will say this too. Different lawyers are different. They take different ethical stances on what is, you know.
True, which is why not only can you never trust a politician or a streamer, but you can also really never trust a lawyer.
Hitler was a bunch of things there. Oh,
Andrew over here is a friend of mine. I'd never trust him. I'm joking. Obviously, I'm kidding.
Hitler was a bunch of things.
It's just the word that they say. But you actually need to balance candor to the tribunal, which means confidentiality is on one side and candor to the tribunal, the court, on the other side. You have to be honest with the court. As a lawyer, you
The
can't
fuck?
lie to the
Bro, you're funny. You're ridiculous.
Such as criminal behavior.
Let's see if we can make it there without blowing up.
Perjury, fraud to the court. All of these things you have reports. And the lawyer
Oh my god.
you have reported. That's the key there, right? That's the key. The lawyer does not have
Hulk Hogan and them thinking that was a murder case. What the fuck?
Yeah, like let's say he admits it, and then
What?
to some random YouTuber, Willie Mack, and then that random YouTuber decides to make a video about it, and then randomly the entire internet knows that you have child porn on your computer, allegedly. Your lawyer might not take that super well.
know it's true. Well, you're like, I know this as a fact. You do have to report that. So the problem is, are you seeing the problem here? This moved from something his lawyer may have suspected because we do or don't know this person.
Yeah, true. The lawyer might have suspected he had child porn on the computer, but you don't have to actually tell that to the judge. But now he might know it, because realistically, I think all these lawyers are kind of sleazeballs. They're going to try to defend their client as much as they can because, they're getting paid by their client.
Yeah, they're getting paid by the client. Yeah, I'll be right back. Hopefully we don't blow up.
Then the lawyer can't get away with it. He cannot, plead ignorance. He can never make believe he didn't know. If the entire
It'll take me like 3 minutes. I'll be quick.
This person was factually underage. Therefore, this is factually CSIN. That completely changes the dynamic from something the lawyer might not have to report because he doesn't know one way or another to something he'd say.
Can you imagine his own lawyer sends him to jail because he couldn't stop yapping? This is like the ultimate, karmic response to a streamer, right? Like, there's Destiny. He's a yap god. That is his content. He debates people. He yaps. Trump bad because he's gonna list off a whole lot of random definitions for authoritarianism or some shit. All right, like he is a yap professional, and yapping might be his very undoing.
Well, now we've got to talk about this. Now we've got to disclose this to the court. It's a mandatory disclosure. It's no longer an elective disclosure. That's a problem. That's a big problem.
Or it's a solution. See, we see things very differently, you and I. We are not aligned on this, Mr. Andrew Esquire. I actually see this as a solution. Yes, Operation Let Them Speak.
For the lawyer.
Oh, for the lawyer, it's a problem. For the lawyer, it's a problem.
The other problem is we've got privilege. So any information that had been protected by attorney-client privilege, that's super strong privilege, you can throw lawyers in jail and they don't have to break attorney-client privilege. That duty is absolutely waived when you speak to a third party, when you disclose to a third party. Now, there's a difference between inadvertent, accidental, and intentional disclosure. If you accidentally leak something, if it was something that, oh my God, I faxed somebody something, I should have faxed them that. Okay, you might get away. Who uses the fax anyways? Well, the Japanese. It's a Japanese thing, guys. Trust me, I'm an Asian. But you accidentally send something over an accidental email, whatever else, that may still apply, right? There's no guarantee. You might have waived that privilege, right? It's possible you still waived it. But there's an argument that the attorney-client privilege is preserved. However, if you leak information intentionally, privilege is lost forever. So here's the issue. He spoke to Willie Mack voluntarily. There was no obligation. There was no court. There was no gun to his head. There's no duress. There was no money. There's no nothing else.
It's crazy. It's not like it was even like a, secretly recorded conversation. Like he just openly sent a guy that he knew was making a video that uses his DMs for videos.
Nothing going on here, right? There wasn't any sort of situation where this could be argued as an inadvertent disclosure. This was an intentional disclosure, fully intentional. There's no way this was not voluntary. So that's the problem. All the privilege on this is what
I remember I got stabbed in the back by somebody. I'm not going to say who because there's obviously a lot of people that stab me in the back these days. So I got stabbed in the back by another content creator. And then that person ended up, apologizing for stabbing me in the back. And they said to me, and by the way, next week I'm flying out doing a podcast with Destiny. And I was like, wait. You tried to cancel me for fucking nothing. You need to do a podcast with Destiny? I'm like, what? Anyway, that didn't happen. But realistically, it's kind of crazy.
So all of the talk about Dixie and the lawsuit, they can come after that because there's no privilege on that. That's just wide open. So let's talk a little bit more about applying this to the law. Let's talk about mistake effect. So Destiny argues that he lacked the mens rea, right? He lacked the intent to commit the crime because he had an honest and reasonable misunderstanding of a factual circumstance at the time of the act. Okay. That's the defense of mistake of act. This is a defense that comes up particularly to specific intent crimes. So the best example was, let's say you had a very expensive jacket. Let's say it's a designer jacket.
Yeah.
And you
go to a party and you put it on the coat rack, and someone else takes your jacket by accident because it looks like his or whatever, or a suitcase at the airport. They think it's their suitcase and they end up picking up somebody else's suitcase. Like, these are really common instances, not necessarily crimes, because they're obviously honest and reasonable misunderstandings.
Up a jacket you're in a place that's cold, so you have to put when you come into the winter, you put your jackets up front and you take somebody else's jacket. Maybe it's their Canada Goose jacket, whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like when you kick a trans woman in the crotch, you didn't realize they still have testicles and they start screaming. Like, obviously, it's a common and reasonable mistake to make. Okay, listen, it's not my business what's going on in there. Okay, she told me to call her ma'am. Okay, she told me to call her ma'am. All right, and now she's screaming. Okay, she literally said, "Call me ma'am." So I did what any reasonable person would do. Anyway, whatever. Whatever.
What's trending nowadays, but you take their expensive jacket and it's not yours. Well, that's a true mistake of fact. You did not know it was identical. It was an honest mistake. It's a reasonable mistake a reasonable, regular person can make. You're not going to go...
Oopsie, if Chad put on my computer, my bad. Oopsie, reasonable mistake. Now, the internet told me that she's a child, but yeah, oopsie poopsie. You know what I'm saying?
Jail for that, typically.
Yeah, it's not happening.
However, that's only for certain types of crimes. So there are certain types of crimes called strict liability. So most, but not all, criminal charges related to CSAM are strict liability. And what that means is, with strict liability means your state of mind does not matter.
Oh, fuck.
So your specific intent does not matter. Now,
I meant to, send my nudes to a 19-year-old, but oopsie poopsie, it went to a kid. Yeah, you're going to jail.
That's not all charges. Some of them, it does, related to CSAM, some of it doesn't. There's other lawyers, shout out to some of my friends out there in LawTube that have gone over the long list of potential crimes.
People also paying people to send their children over religious.
Up to prosecutors, what they're thinking about, what they go for. That's not in the control of the prosecutor.
Dangerous.
Destiny fan. Prosecutor's gonna be like, listen, we have to step.
You better get to the point.
Any streamer, it's not in control of Ethan Klein or Hassan or anybody else. It's in the control of the prosecutors to decide, hey, how are we gonna go after Destiny? If we go after Destiny, that's up to them. And mistake of fact and mistake of law defenses typically do not work with strict liability crimes. They typically are not a defense. However, there are exceptions.
Also, we can make the argument that now that we know that this Rose person seemingly really was 17, now that we know that and you're still holding on to it, where is this mistake anymore? There's no mistakes. If you're still holding on to that shit, which, I mean, it's Destiny, he probably is. So if you're still holding on to that shit, and right now you know, like there is no, oopsie, I thought she was an adult. That is not an argument.
Of course, is a very complex and specific area of law. There's lawyers that dedicate their entire career just to this. I am not one of them, but I will give you an overview of some of the defenses that Destiny might bring up.
All right.
So, of course, there's two main ones he might bring up. The first one is...
He didn't know she was a child. That's going to be the main one.
Of course, not having intent. And that would block anything with specific intent. So saying, hey, I genuinely believe this person was an adult, not a child, and argue I don't have the intent to possess or distribute. So a lot of the possession and distribute statutes might involve some specific intent to distribute. So, okay, I don't have the intent to distribute, so it's not going to be a distribution charge. The other one is negating...
Now, again, I assume that means you would need to prove to the judge, okay? That means he would need to prove that he checked her ID, right? Because he keeps claiming he checked her ID, thought she lied to him. He would need to prove that she lied to him. And the fact that he didn't release that image yet leads me to believe that that image doesn't exist. I am inclined to believe that he was scrolling furiously back through all of his messages and didn't find himself checking her ID or checking her age. I am inclined to believe that because otherwise I feel like that would be the easiest defense. To say, hey, I messaged her in 2022. This is me asking her how old she is. This is her lying and saying she's 19. He didn't show that. As far as I'm concerned, that probably means it doesn't exist. This is crazy.
The element regarding child. So there's usually language saying, okay, this is a child. So even if it doesn't require specific intent, it requires that that person be a child. So if you say, hey, I honestly didn't believe they were a child, you would negate that element of the crime, even if it is specific intent. I know it sounds complicated, but it's just taking out that one little piece. Once again, not guaranteed, not foolproof, not something you can necessarily get away with. I'm just saying and presenting out there, as always, professionally, hey, here's the attack, here's the defense, right? And it doesn't look good for Destiny.
Nope.
It does not look good.
Nope.
So,
Jail. Jail, penis guillotine, then jail.
Not the awkward silence. Serious. Didn't happen.
Oh, 1000% fucked. Coming to the
Really?
Absolutely, without a doubt. And this is in addition to his civil case. So this has gone from something that is purely civil to something that is now potentially criminal. He gains nothing.
You know, I was like,
on the internet.
more so trying to focus on not fucking flying around this. I was reading this, trying not to fucking relax, Uncle Sam. Hold on. Yeah, awkward. Fucking, it's not awkward silence. I'm trying to read something. I was reading something, wrote out something. Went to go and fucking smoke this. Hell, they're in prison. Let's see. Those are in the insane also.
Hypothetically, if he's a pedophile, don't you want him to go to jail? Like, this is 2022. This is pretty recent. He's been doing it for years.
Damn.
But in these open relationships with like, children, what are we fucking doing?
You call that PTSD. Traumatic. Good, they're in prison? Fuck yeah. Hold on, let me read this. Yeah, no. I didn't mean that as like a strike mindset. It's from the whole situation. Well, that's a good thing. Good shit. Yeah, no, I didn't mean to make it all awkward silence. Definitely wasn't caused by you. I was just trying not to go flying past this because I literally have zero fuel in this. And if I like even sitting here waiting for the docking quest to go through, I'm dreading fucking blowing up. Like, I'm so close to blowing up.
Like, it really is a facsimile of what's going on in real life. The leftoids are
Thank fucking God.
fucking cooked. It's tragic. The big argument is Trump was.
Meanwhile, I don't pay anything. It may serve as awkward silence.
That's literally what everyone always brings up every single time. And all these people are just unbelievable, degenerate fucking freaks. All of them. It's insane every time. Keep subscribing. Up those numbers.
Your service. Awkward silence. I wasn't in the military.
Okay, definitely subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, everybody.
I definitely was not in the military.
I'll be live again soon, actually, probably, maybe for a day or two. It's gonna be exciting, and hell yeah, things are great. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, man.
I don't know what everybody's been saying.
We are living through an unprecedented era in gaming right now. For the first time in the history of the world, the average gamer score has dropped below 0.25. If that number doesn't terrify you, I don't know.
I can't even read this right now.
Society, we are surrounded on all sides by pretend gamers, people who pretend to be real gamers. But in reality, have
So this game does have some buggies.
you see back in the Xbox Live go.
You know who really got me fucked up about this was Tectone. Because Tectone was going on about how he played Stellar Blade, and he said he played Stellar Blade. And I said, did you actually play Stellar Blade? He said, no, I played the demo for 10 minutes. Bro, these fake gamers make me
Let me change this.
mad, man. Like, it's fake gamers, bro. It's like, no, you didn't play it. Like, if you didn't beat half of the game, you didn't play the game.
Back. Oh, we're firing onto Venezuela. I gotta hear this.
JFS rip. But for real? He's gone? No! It was real? King Cobra JFS has passed away. He was 34 years old. God, I hate that. No! It's been confirmed by Josh's father, Clint, too. See, like whenever Ozzy Osbourne and like Hulk Hogan passed away, I was unaffected, right? Because they're older men, they've lived their life, they're wealthy, they can afford every medical treatment that's available. But man, King Cobra, 34 years old, too young, man. That feels bad. Okay, like stuff down like this down here, nothing's confirmed yet. Someone reported unresponsive at King Cobra's house earlier today. Yeah, so we've done videos on King Cobra before. Like we've checked out his cooking videos. He always seemed like a cool guy. He always seemed like he seemed like a guy who had a rough life or whatever, but seemed like a nice enough dude. He definitely like lived through his content. Like he live streamed and talked to his fans, and it seemed like he considered them to be friends, and they sent him stuff.
Your funniest moment in this game. The funniest moment in this game? I really haven't had a funniest moment. Nothing too funny. I've had some like moments where, well, actually, I think when I'm slamming ramming my anaconda into another ship, yelling at him, that might have been a funny moment. Yeah, I've had funny moments. Yeah, I don't think I've clipped the funny moments. I need to do that. I need a clip. Yeah.
Right? And a lot of them, like, they got like health things going on, and people are like concerned they're going to be okay, and they're hoping that everything is going to, they'll be healthy and fine. And this is the thing that everybody worries about.
Hello.
Is this right?
With what?
And from what I understand, just like from watching some of his content over the years,
yeah, hold on. I'll be down in a sec.
In his chat,
Alright, bye.
Enabled and I've been pushed to do that as well, and so it's really unfortunate.
My mom had.
I guess what I'm saying there is like all the other ones, like you got like even like Nick Avocado before he lost the weight, everyone's like, man, this is leading to a bad place,
All right, everybody, give me a minute. I'll be right back. Mom asked me to out.
His dad that made a video, released.
I will relax on that, so you guys don't need to see that. We'll just put this down. You can hear this instead. Be right back.
And I think this is the most important thing to mention right now. When we talk about Nicolas Maduro, when we talk about the Venezuelan regime, we're not just talking about a government that we dislike or a dictatorship, a soft dictatorship. We're talking about a narco state, a government that produced over 25% of the entire cocaine that is produced in the entire world. It's
Damn. That's wild. Holy shit.
There's also a regime that sent Tren de Aragua, the same criminal organization that killed, for example, Lakin Riley, or that killed Jocelyn Nungaray. So there is
Still not enough for Hunter.
Need for the American people, for the well-being of the American people in the Western Hemisphere.
Maybe that's what we do. We get rid of Maduro and we replace him. The new president of Venezuela can be Hunter Biden. And he'll get rid of all the cocaine by just fucking using it all. Like a black hole. Totally get rid of the cocaine problem.
To have a regime change to stop these cartels. Yeah. But Venezuelans recognize that Trump is an ally, that the U.S. government is probably the biggest hope that we currently have.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about who else is involved with Nicolas Maduro. It's not just the drug cartels, which is serious, and I appreciate Franklin laying that part out, but it's the Chinese, it's the Iranians. Let's talk about the Chinese because they
why is it that always this Iranian government is always on the side of the person that's crazy? Isn't that nuts? The narrative is screwed though. They're not a threat to America. We would stomp them in any conflict. This is not America first at all. I think that realistically, Venezuela's
economy, if what they're saying is true, is at least contingent partially on drug distribution in the United States. Do you really think that Venezuela also, like, if they make 25% of the world's cocaine, do you think that they use 25% of the world's cocaine? Of course not. So just apply a little bit of common sense and logical thinking to this, and you'd realize that it's very obvious that their business model and their economy, and also this guy, by the way, is a fucking dictator. People don't like him either. He's destabilizing the country, which is causing a bunch of people to come over here. Sometimes doing things that are America first doesn't always mean that you only deal with America. America first is not isolationism. Sometimes America first is being proactive so you don't have to be isolationist. That's my opinion. Like, a good example of this is the bombing of the Iranian nuclear facilities. This is an America first action because it threatens a long-term stability in an area. Like, you have to be able to think more than one step in front of you. I understand your point of view, and I think that it's fair for you to criticize and be concerned, especially after 20 years replacing the Taliban with the Taliban. I get it. I think that's a good point of view. But that doesn't mean that it's always accurate.
This up over here.
And got away with a lot of stuff while America was looking in.
Good guys don't have people that have to leave their country because of political persecution. That's not what good guys have.
The other direction, towards the Middle East, towards Ukraine, and the Chinese were making their move in our hemisphere, in our backyard. Explain.
Yeah, definitely China is all involved in Venezuela. I remember when I was there, I once went to a military outpost and I was embarrassed because I saw the Chinese flag waving in this military place where, you know, in a military place in Venezuela, you should only see Venezuelan flags and that's about it. I saw Chinese...
Yeah, it's insane, man. Yeah, like, exactly, bro. See, imagine how we feel watching an American leftist protest. Where's every flag except for the American flag? Well, there is the American flag. It's upside down. So, yeah, and he's a complete idiot. I'm in South America. He just changed Christmas to July. There's no way he changed Christmas to July. Like, I partially believe that, but, like, I don't entirely. But, yeah, I don't think so. Or on fire? Maybe.
Flag. I saw a Cuban flag, an Iranian flag.
He did change it? No. The Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, announced a change to the date of Christmas. It's going to be moved from December 4th to December 1st to bring forward the Christmas spirit. It was a one-time adjustment. This guy's a fucking retard. What the fuck? What is this? I don't even know what to say.
What?
That's because he was born in November and he wanted his birthday to be farther away from Christmas because his mom doesn't give him presents on both days because they are too close to each other. At this point, I'm 95% sure you're lying.
Nope.
But I'm only 95% sure that you're lying.
That doesn't make sense. So all of these countries are openly operating in Venezuela to harm American interests in the region. And it's such a good news that President Trump is finally taking notice and acting accordingly to stop this.
Well, we're looking at something very historic about to happen. All eyes on Latin America. If Donald Trump succeeds if President Trump
is sending the fucking battleships to Venezuela. Oh my God.
succeeds in cleaning up the Western Hemisphere from Maduro and his very nefarious influences with cartels, the Chinese and the Iranians, I think it may be his greatest foreign policy success, really ever. It really impacts us. It's our backyard.
No, I only do electronic parts. Ain't not that important. Yeah, I only do the electronic parts.
Okay. You didn't need to convince me. Yeah, I was already on his side.
Nothing special.
Jorge, thanks for joining us. We'll be checking back with you as this entire story is just beginning. Thank you.
Yeah, it was. I'm Steve Juice.
It's like it's like a bunch of shit. I don't just do one thing. Okay.
I didn't even know this was happening. I guess this literally is like all the stuff on this Trump. Let me see how fond there's any more information about this too. If Trump dares to touch Maduro, rest assured that all of Latin America will rise up and take to the streets celebrating for an entire week. You got me in the first half. If Donald Trump dares to touch Maduro, rest assured that all of Latin America will raise up and take to the streets to celebrate for an entire week. Oh man, yeah, people are tired of this fucking asshole. That's great, man. Wow. And this is, oh shit. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, there we go, guys. Wow. We will, guys. Come on. I mean, again, like, you know, as an American, I mean, we, you know, like, I think South America's great. I think that, yeah, I don't have anything negative to say about it.
Yeah, I definitely don't have anything negative to say.
Problems you guys have there, but
yeah, it's all about the governments.
like that's, I mean, we have government problems even, right?
We do.
Like, I understand it. I get it. Yeah, and there's, if you're also America first, have you ever thought to yourself, maybe it's a good idea to get rid of the person who's destabilizing a country, making people have to leave that country in the thousands, the tens of thousands, because of political persecution or other forms of oppressive leadership? So, like, again, like, you have to think a little bit outside of that frame of reference. Like, I get where you're coming from with that person saying that root cause. Yeah. Well, it's just oil. Why can't it be both? Yeah.
4,000 Marines are heading in the direction of Venezuela.
Ooh.
According to the White House, the mission is to target drug cartels that traffic narcotics to the United States.
So you've probably heard that the U.S. State Department has placed a $50 million bounty on the head of Venezuela's serving president, Nicolas Maduro, allegedly for involvement in trafficking narcotics into the United States. As you also just saw, the situation is escalating into a potential war scenario. With you.
Man. Yep, very smart to tell them beforehand. I mean, they're going to figure it out instantly, right? I mean, it's not really that big of a secret. Yeah, I mean, like, that's it. The Beijing will provide support. Shut the fuck up. Shut the hell up. Is this it? Oh, damn.
Alright. There we go. The virtual line crosser. I love that dude.
Talking about this shit. What are you saying?
Now, I don't like any of these wars. Not Gulf War, not Gulf II, not Afghanistan, all of it. I'm against all these wars, Ukraine War, all of it. But if you look at U.S. doctrine and wars that we fought before that were right, it's in Latin America. This is our sandbox. And Venezuela is a communist dictatorship with the biggest oil reserves per square foot in the world. Their people are absolute slaves.
But they
are manipulating our elections. They are flooding us with fentanyl. And if there were surgical...
Yeah, no shit.
Well, they don't like regime change either. That's why they apparently were ignoring elections. Yeah.
To take out the communists. There'd be an uprising and they could
Submarine. Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be something. Definitely gonna be something. It's, all I'm saying is that when you see these new missiles that turn into torpedoes or vice versa if it does do the stuff it says it's gonna do. Yeah. Torpedo mechanics to hunt down submarines. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. Subs are the ultimate form of like extended power.
It's not working. It's clearly not working.
All that running, a lot of it under Obama, and then under Trump's nose, and then with Biden it got worse. So by that extension, I mean, for those who don't know, Trudeau allows the use of it. It's decriminalized, and they turn a blind eye to its production. Most of it comes out of Canada now. That's on record. So I just
that's a lot.
Yeah, do we have a right to go blow up the cartels? Yeah.
He was building up to that. He building up to it.
But they rolled over, basically. Venezuela is...
No, they don't want to deal with it because, like, the thing is, the cartels, like, if I was the cartel leaders, right, what would I do? I would say, fuck, you win. That's fine, that's fine. Not gonna deal with this shit at all. Like,
Well, it was 1950s, if I'm not mistaken. I would not be able to tell you.
Like, they want to make their money and have their power in peace and do their own thing. Like, because also they can just bet on maybe 3 years they could have some new president, and then they can just get right back to doing what they were doing. You see what I'm saying? Just wait 3 years. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, because the guys that run the cartels, they're smart guys. They are. They're smart guys.
The 800-pound gorilla.
What the fuck?
Whether you're for it or not, it's about to happen, in my view.
Yep.
And that's why you see Maduro trying to kiss ass and, oh, Trump, you're good. Hey, Biden told me to ship all the criminals up there. I've got the documents. You got them too. Yeah, we know that.
What the fuck?
He trying to roach out? I can see that. For sure, absolutely. Please ride to Vancouver, take out Mexican cartels and Chinese triads. I don't know what's going on in Vancouver, man. Like, that's it. I got no idea. You can't trust anyone there, though. You need to rule with fear's iron fist. I don't know about that. Yeah, live stream's just gonna be epic. Yeah. And no, I'm glad that they're trying to do something about it. I mean, hopefully, like, I mean, I think with anything like this, I think that the main thing that America should try to do is to empower the people that are in that country to take back control of the country. I think that any regime change that is too foreign will end up having a negative second-order effect, like maybe 15 years, 10 years down the line. Like, at the end of the day, like, it should not be us installing somebody from Venezuela.
I believe it.
It should be us, you know, like, what do you call it? Empowering Venezuelans to be able to dictate their own future. 70% hate them? Yeah, I know. No, it's to start a civil war. Well, I mean, they are. So the thing is that there would be a civil war, but there can't be a civil war because these people are losing.
Yeah.
They're losing. They already lost. Like, the only reason there's not a civil war right now is because they're just totally oppressed. And also, like, again, by the way, I have no problem. Like, absolutely. Like, you got people causing these problems up here at us. Of course, you need to do something to them. Absolutely. It's common sense. They're starving. Yeah, same as Iran. Yeah, it's same as Iran. I have the same outlook as Iran. Yeah, 100%.
Fox
News is projecting former President Donald Trump has won the 2024 presidential election. As of now, Fox News projects.
Howdy partners, how's it going? My name is Kevin, and today we're taking a look at Red Dead Redemption 2, because I've modded it so Arthur is a raging alcoholic and is always piss drunk. Arthur was so drunk, he just left the cutscene. So I was stuck with this NPC, as I could see Arthur just wandering off in the background. He was chasing pigs, destroying fences, falling into bushes, rolling down hills. Meanwhile, I'm just stuck there. We start where everyone starts their Red Dead 2 journey. Up in the mountains, facing near certain death.
Arthur's out looking. I sent him up ahead.
He's never going to get out of that snow. So let's flash forward a bit and say he became an alcoholic in, like, Chapter 3, where the stakes are a little bit lower.
What you trying to take some pictures of, huh?
Make yourself inconspicuous. Yes, yes, there they are. Don't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yes. Oh, very coherent, actually. Thank you. It's gone. You'll be surprised to know I didn't actually die here. The other guy did, and then I failed the mission. Honestly, I think that went pretty well. I think it could have gone worse. You know, it could have certainly gone better. He did die.
Yeah.
Pretty nasty death. But the best news is when you respawn, Arthur's usually just kind of chilling in some area, and when he's really drunk, it always makes it a lot funnier.
He's floating down the river. Yeah.
I'm having a drink. Alright, that woke me up. I feel my balance now.
Oh no.
I lost it again. I know it's around here somewhere. Oh, no, that's just whiskey. I think I'll have another. That was a really shallow stream. He's not really giving much main character energy right now. After drowning in some,
Holy shit.
I'm ready to hop on my horse and get to the next mission.
Oh, that's so funny.
Stupid
Nope,
horse.
right off the horse.
Grab my noble steed. We are about to head out. What the hell, man? I just wanted to loop around you, give you a little kiss. All I have to do is go on a short walk or roll. Probably roll. Oh, never mind. I'm throwing up again. Dude, come on. How much you got in the system? Oh, you know, the best cure to a hangover is always drinking a little more alcohol to regulate the system. There we go. Yum. I'm not sure if he's drinking or depositing. I feel like I'm going to be here a while, so it might be a good point to mention our sponsor. Thank you to our sponsor, Crystal of Atlan. Crystal of Atlan is a magic punk action RPG with some seriously slick combat. But right now, it's extra exciting because there's a brand new Digimon Adventure crossover running from August 21st through September 17th. So if you want a healthy dose of nostalgia, you know where to go. So you can team up with Agumon and Gatomon, and yes, they can actually Digivolve during the event. There's also a brand new boss battle against Machine Dramon, which you can fight solo, or even better, join up to 3 of your friends for a 4-player raid. Plus special crossover quests, outfits, mounts, and skins. I mean, Gatomon as a motorcycle mount. That's peak gaming right there. This was stupid, or I was too drunk to ride the horse, or perhaps both. And maybe the horse was a bit drunk too, but I knew exactly what to do. I had a big bottle of whiskey, and after drowning my sorrows, not literally, figuratively, I was ready to find a train and get to my next mission. Well, fellas,
There's really no specific.
I won't be missing my train.
It's PCB boards.
I actually already missed my train, but I'm gonna catch up to it. Okay, Arthur,
What sources?
I know
They have their own
but
sources.
you just need. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can do that, no problem. Arthur, I must say, you've surprised me, and dare I say it, I think I've misjudged you. Oh, there he goes. One moment of brilliance, and then it's gone. But the important thing is that Arthur is happy. He's having the time of his life. Also, the train is not moving. Damn, dude, this game's aesthetic just gets me every time. Meanwhile, inside.
He bought it in there, so being drunk.
Hitting is hard. For the good of my own sanity and the passengers, I'm just going to give him a drink or two. Nothing crazy.
Oh my god, this guy.
99 bottles of beer that I drank. 99 bottles of beer. Sorry, ladies. I love to sing. Brace for stopping. Brace for stopping. Good. He's reading. I get non-motion sickness, but this is my stop.
That's so bad.
Yep. Right under your
Alright,
seat.
I'm gonna go back to
So sorry.
Gillen.
Conductor, I've missed my stop.
Actually, I want to see what they have for commodities.
Alright, that's it. You're robbing me of my time. I'm robbing you of your money.
Please, I have done nothing to deserve this.
Oh, well, if it isn't a white knight. Hey, don't shoot my drink. That's where I draw the line. You want to fight, do ya? Well, how about I give you one of these? Go for the feet, Arthur. Go for the feet. There's no shame in it. That's it. I'm taking a fight to them. Oh, okay. It was a long and perilous journey, but we finally made it to Rhodes. And immediately, I struck up a conversation with someone I thought I could help. This poor man had his carriage stolen, and I was not gonna let that stand.
What are you drinking, mister?
Nothing, sir. Nothing at all.
Oh no, sorry, that wasn't an accusation. I just like to drink. You want to drink with me?
Which way they go?
This guy must be thinking, wow, this guy's badass. And I know I'm gonna walk a few feet, just collapse in the mud.
But I was wrong. I set off after that wagon, and I must have made it like 8 feet before I collapsed.
Yeah, that's fucking funny.
Alright, time to get serious.
You got a wagon here, don't belong to you.
I got my whiskey in my bag, horse in my mustache. Someone took that, well, I got backups in my head. See you double truly, that's why I'm double doing. Not long until you're dead, and I'll be puking while I'm moving. Yeah, I think that's how I'll do it. Alright, now time to put my plan into action. Just walk up there and give them a piece of your mind. No, I'm falling over and I can't get up. Roll, man, go, come on. Well, that was embarrassing, but after respawning, I thought, hey, I can fix this. Well, I can't, that's done. Sorry, nice man who got his carriage stolen. I'm not the main character you're looking for. Might be
Not the main character you're looking for.
But I'm gonna be honest, it was just kind of lame and boring, so I decided, hey, let's make it a party, and I just had a few drinks instead. It wasn't long before Arthur was loving life again.
Alright, that was annoying.
Tonight, the Trump administration is cracking down on cartels at sea. The U.S. is planning to deploy these 3 warships
Cash Jordan.
to Venezuela.
So the gloves are off, and President Trump is moving the U.S. military into position near Venezuela. And this comes just days after a $50 million reward was offered for the capture of that country's dictator, a man U.S. sources identify as the ringleader of an international criminal empire already waging war on U.S. soil. Until now.
The U.S. is deploying 4,000 additional troops to waters around Latin America. The Marines and sailors will be used to combat cartels, a focal point of President Donald Trump.
The Trump administration also recently doubling to $50 million its reward for the arrest of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro.
They continue to send into our country, Venezuela.
Maduro uses foreign terrorist
Hello.
organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring violence into our country. He is one of the largest traffickers in the world.
The DEA says 30 tons of
Okay.
weapons seized from Maduro and his criminal
You are
network,
back.
7 tons
Back
tied
you are.
directly to Maduro himself. And the Justice Department says that is just part of this investigation.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum reacted to the news, saying interventionism.
I think I'm sending my
Along with the troops, a
community.
nuclear-powered attack submarine, several
Okay.
destroyers, and more are also being deployed.
This?
This says Trump is ready to use every element of American power to stop Venezuela. But what nobody's talking about is how Venezuela, they're not just causing problems for America by doing things like opening their prisons and flooding our country with gang members. Oh no, in fact, they're also terrorizing their neighbors, like the peaceful nation of Guyana, which has a representative government, free elections, and speaks English, revealing that this communist regime, which exports crime all over the civilized world, as we've seen recently with homegrown Venezuelan gangs like Tren de Aragua taking over apartments in places like Colorado, is up to no good while its own people live in poverty. And Venezuela's not exactly secret about their cartel connections. I mean, even our southern neighbor Mexico does a way better job hiding any supposed connections their government might have to the criminal underworld, but Venezuela, they don't care. It's out there for everyone to see. And it's well known that Venezuela's done everything it can to export those who do not want to make other countries better to places all over the world, especially America. And once you learn that some of these gang and cartel members are former Venezuelan military, it reveals that these aren't just thugs committing crime on our shores. They're actually a hostile foreign militia conducting an invasion funded by their government. And that brings us to the real reason the US is taking things to the next level, moving a small handful of troops just offshore into Venezuelan waters for the first time. There's a conflict already taking place on US soil, a conflict which allows Venezuela to profit while America is destabilized and harmed. And I'll give you one guess how the troops in that conflict got into America.
¿De qué país vienes?
Venezuela.
¿Para dónde vas aquí en los Estados Unidos?
Arlington, Texas.
¿Qué país vienes?
Venezuela.
¿Para dónde vas aquí en los Estados Unidos? ¿Dónde?
Texas.
This is a massive I told you so moment. These guys have had 4 years to come here and set up shop. And when we look at these well-fed, healthy gang members, we're supposed to believe that they came from an impoverished country, which is starving and where there's no food. Or more frighteningly, these guys were fed by their government so that they could have the energy to come here and commit crime. But as you're about to see their bad acting, it's not just limited to our shores. And as the president of El Salvador points out in this tweet, these TDA gang members suddenly fall ill the very moment they get deported back to Venezuela. Yet they were healthy enough to leave that country and sneak in to America, where they act as operatives of the criminal empire the U.S. has now set its sights on getting rid of, with an armada of warships headed south right now, with only one goal in mind.
Tonight, the Trump administration is cracking down on cartels at sea. A source briefed on the matter tells NBC News the U.S. is planning to deploy these 3 warships near Venezuela. President Trump focusing on the coast after the border crossings record lows. The Trump administration also recently doubling to $50 million its reward for the arrest of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, saying he violated U.S.
Look, this is a big problem. Any country that would go out of its way to harm the residents of another country while making money at the exact same time, bad news. And no matter how they make that money, whether it's smuggling, trafficking, it needs to stop. And there's a fascinating connection between the criminal enterprise that is Venezuela, the gangs they flooded America with, and all of the individuals repaying debts to cartels and gangs working illegally in sanctuary cities throughout America. Jobs, it has been revealed, people obtained when corrupt domestic businesses teamed up with smugglers to bring people into America in advance, to work at construction sites, restaurants, and possibly even in meat processing facilities. And all this does is bring in massive amounts of money to this criminal enterprise that is not making the world a better place.
Earlier this year, the president designated several cartels, as well as the notorious Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, as foreign terrorist organizations.
Bad news.
And despite pulling off a large-scale prisoner swap with Venezuela last month, President Trump has been increasingly at odds with Maduro.
He's prepared to use every element of American power to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is.
That's a good point. But now the regime there is preparing for what could be an all-out assault coming from any direction, air, sea, or even by land. However, this whole military situation is a bit complicated. The United States has not formally declared war on Venezuela. Hopefully that never happens. Hopefully there is no land invasion, but if there is, that might be complicated because, as you're about to see, the U.S. doesn't have permission to just land troops in a neighboring country near Venezuela and march through residential neighborhoods on their way to a foreign capital.
Element in the criminal gangs. Before that, it's just going to be just here and there.
It's
So
in the same
having
spot.
the military power
Donald Trump sending these people down, our military down south into Central and South America certainly will help. But we have to do something on land. We must have to get the cooperation of the president.
All right, I'm done taking pictures. Sorry, I was taking pictures. No, they just signed it.
Rid ourselves of the total problem that we've had.
Okay, so this expert makes
Oh,
a point
what the
that
fuck?
the U.S. can't just land somewhere in a D-Day style invasion and head for the hills, so to speak. Can't do that. Need cooperation from other jurisdictions. And he makes a point that in order to be successful, there's gotta be some sort of land component to this, which is where things get a bit interesting. And if we pull up Venezuela here, we can get ourselves a nice little overview. So here we have the country. On the eastern side, we've got Colombia, and then
No,
here
what the
we've got
fuck?
Guyana, and over here we've got Puerto Rico. Now, Puerto Rico's an island and a U.S. territory, which has a military base, but there's a lot of water in between these two countries. Colombia, they're not at all enthusiastic about the idea of U.S. troops landing somewhere here. But then we have the free nation of Guyana. They are the only English-speaking nation in South America. They also have recently discovered tons of oil. ExxonMobil is down
Let's
there
see.
right now.
Did we do it? Really dark jelly, sorry for the top. Well,
Very soon, but also
give me a minute.
Venezuela has threatened several times over the last couple of years to invade Guyana. Now, you have a communist country threatening to invade a free country where you have U.S. industry operating and investing. So it seems like to me, I'm not a general patent, but if I were and I wanted to get things done quickly, perhaps going in through Guyana would probably be what the U.S. ends up doing. Not sure about that, but if you wanted to find anybody who has a problem with Venezuela already, well, one of their neighbors already does.
This process would be ongoing for several months. The plan is for them to operate in international airspace
Yeah, that has to be the plan.
and international waters. Is this a novel idea?
No, look, it's not a novel idea. We've always operated in many parts of the world in a very similar fashion, but you need to have the cooperation of those countries. If we don't, and this needs to be a combined effort. Can't be the United States only. We can't just, go on sovereign land on our own.
Right, so the interesting thing here is that as the world mocks our president, he's actually getting results. There could be peace between Ukraine and Russia, which would be a good thing. And look, I don't want to see military intervention in Venezuela. Hopefully there's a way to just get Venezuela to clean up their act without any of this having to happen. I mean, after all, the people in that very country are suffering. They live under an oppressive regime that is cartel linked. It's essentially a criminal organization that runs an entire country and exports their talons to the entire world. It's bad news for everyone.
That bounty was at $25 million. Now it's doubled to $50 million. It's clear that the Trump administration sees
services.
Maduro as a terror threat. Earlier, Marco Rubio did say that Nicolas Maduro isn't even the president of Venezuela. Now, the U.S. government is accusing Maduro of running a transnational empire and providing material support to Tren de Aragua and the Sinaloa cartel.
So the president of Venezuela, he doesn't just have his own country that he controls. He's got his criminal assets that he sends out into the rest of the world to help run that criminal empire. Tren de Aragua, these cartel-affiliated members that we keep hearing about, these guys have been all over the U.S. migration crisis, and it has been perfect to help them enter our country, acting as if they're here seeking a better life, but really they're just seeking better criminal opportunities, and they're trying to maintain the criminal foundation of illegal labor and human smuggling that has been greatly expanded over the last 4 years. And it's been widely reported that these Tren de Aragua gang members work with various cartels, some of them who operate in Mexico, which is probably why the Mexican president isn't exactly willing to confirm the details of this potential arrangement, saying that she has no knowledge of any wrongdoing on the part of Venezuela's dictator.
Maduro uses foreign terrorist organizations like TDA, Sinaloa, and Cartel of the Suns to bring deadly violence into our country. He is one of the largest traffickers in the world and a threat to our national security. Therefore, we've doubled his reward to $50 million. Under President Trump's leadership, Maduro will not escape justice.
So the hope here and this could still happen, is that the $50 million reward is given to people who take down this dictator from the inside. That would be the best result. All they gotta do is turn him over. And you know, it might even be cheaper and safer and cause less harm and be easier for that reward to go even higher. And once there's enough money on the table, this gentleman might not be around for much longer, walking the earth as a free member, leader of a cartel enterprise. And what's ridiculous here is Venezuela, they're not really making any intention to hide this. Everyone knows the last elections in that country were not legitimate. Everyone knows the story of Tren de Aragua, of how that gang formed in a prison and were then released to go and terrorize the rest of the world. And with this country threatening their neighbors, destabilizing things on a local level, going after oil-rich, natural resource-rich areas of Guyana, threatening to invade, they're a big problem.
I guess it's probably one of the hardest campaigns we've ever seen. Trying to never remove Nicolas Maduro from president, or trying to encourage media arrests.
Probably trying to get that message communicated to other Venezuelan elected officials.
Yeah, you would imagine so. So, Jorge, this comes the Treasury Department takes new action against Maduro's own cartel. What more are we learning about that specifically?
Yeah, these are now some shocking allegations. Earlier this month, we did see the Treasury Department sanction what they're calling Cartel de los Soles. This is a criminal organization based in Venezuela, also translated to Cartel of the Suns. And
It's 16 get a promotion.
this criminal organization is the Venezuelan president Nicolas Maduro and other Venezuelan government
clearing
officials.
the
US
office
government
that
says
she's
that Maduro and these officials corrupted the military, intelligence services, and even the courts to help traffic into the United States. Now, these sanctions link the Cartel de los Soles too directly to Tren de Aragua and the Sinaloa cartel. Remember, these are two.
So, this gentleman is a dictator and a cartel leader, and he has his own country. He's like the Saddam Hussein of South America. That's who we're looking at right here. Which explains why the U.S. is now sending warships and troops, but we're only talking about 4,000 Marines. And they're not just going to Venezuela. They're going to take care of other security-related cartel smuggling operations in South America as well. There's more than one cartel down there that's a big problem. Hopefully this doesn't turn into some sort of international invasion. We don't want to see another Gulf War. I certainly don't want to see that. But what do you think? Should a criminal empire be allowed to exist right off our shores? And if it's allowed to exist, should something be done to stop it from expanding and spreading? Does the U.S. make itself less safe by having policies like an open border that might help these criminals? Should we keep our border shut down so at least these guys can't get in and whatever crime they want to commit has to stay in their own lane? Let me know. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
I think the trade is speaking Vietnamese.
Free fall. It's collapsing. In
That's
the last
under
few months, Intel has
that
been
ain't it.
very busy for a lot of bad reasons. Intel has floated the idea of stopping node attacks.
That's bad.
Is it fair and justified to punish the citizens of a country for the actions of their governments? Well, it really depends on who you ask, but one thing that is for sure is that this kind of collective punishment is going to happen way more often in the future. As a Russian who doesn't support the government, I've struggled with this question a lot myself, especially in the context of the sanctions against Russia, which were not only aimed at the Russian regime and the Russian economy, but also the Russian people themselves. And even though a lot of Westerners like to make the claim that the point of these sanctions on Russia is to try to make the Russian people rise up against the government and really feel the repercussions of
Let's find some more trivia.
and therefore to turn them against the government, I think it is actually having the opposite effects, and the West is about to once again repeat their mistake with the country of Georgia, which is a country in which the people have been heavily protesting against the government, but the protests did not succeed. And right now, the EU is planning to punish the Georgian people for the actions of their government and take away their right to visit Europe without a visa. And even though the situation is quite different, it does remind me a lot of what happened in Russia. Now, while I'm not trying to say that Russia should have faced zero repercussions, the Russian people right now largely
Yeah,
feel like
Sam, that was a little ridiculous.
things that they had no say in and that they have zero control over. The sanctions and restrictions towards the Russian people apply to everyone. It doesn't matter if you support the war or not, what your opinion is, and if you've ever protested or fought against the government. You're still going to have issues with visas, banks, and so on. And even though I don't agree with the Russian government, I've talked about this stuff as well. For example, about Visa and MasterCard leaving Russia, where they made it so that Visas and MasterCards that were issued by Russian banks now could no longer work outside of Russia. So basically, this was a measure that like didn't affect the Russians who stayed in Russia in any way whatsoever because the cars continued working inside Russia. And the only people who this was a problem for were people who actively were trying to leave Russia. So the entire thing was just complete nonsense in my opinion. And the Russian government perfectly used all of this as propaganda, basically telling the Russian people, look, they really all hate us, they hate Russians, they hate everything we stand for, they hate everybody, even the liberals and the traitors of Russia who left Russia, even they're not accepted. You see, this is exactly why we have to stand with glorious leader Vladimir Putin. And as a result, a lot of Russians who maybe even before had pro-Western views and never really were fans of the government, these people become increasingly disappointed and
Just gonna jump there really quick so I can go to the actual location that I need. I want to go to.
I'm not trying to defend these people when I do not agree with them,
Various
but the goal of the
services.
sanctions is really to try to make the Russian people rise up against their own governments. Clearly, it's not really working out. And well, right now, the European Union is planning to do the exact same thing to yet another country. If you follow my channel and my journey after I left Russia, you might know that I lived in the country of Georgia for 2 years. And right now, Georgia is going through a big political crisis. While the majority of the Georgian people actually pro-Western, that support the idea of integration with the European Union, they don't really like Russia, which makes sense because Russia really invaded Georgia in 2008. The Georgian government is actually moving closer towards Russia and passing new laws that kinda destroy the possibility of European integration in Georgia. The Georgian people have protested against these laws in their government in massive street demonstrations. And even though they were huge in scale, the ruling party still managed to stay in power and actually even won a recent election. Now, Georgian people actually have one luxury that other people from other post-Soviet countries like Russia or Armenia, for example, don't. They have the ability to travel to the European Union without needing a visa. And I was always really happy for my Georgian friends that they had this opportunity to kind of go out there and explore the world, even though it was way more difficult for me to get to these places with my passport. And well, right now, the European Union is considering taking away the ability of Georgian citizens to visit the European Union without a visa before the end of this year. With the main reason being that the Georgian government is acting undemocratic and has not fulfilled the promises and passed the reforms needed to actually begin the process of European integration. So, long story short, the people are about to be punished for the actions of their government that they don't like and that they actively protest against. Now, regular Georgians will not have the ability to visit Europe because of their government, while at the same time, the corrupt government's officials will continue to vacate and own expensive real estate in Europe. Sounds like justice to me, guys. And even though the situation is not quite the same, this actually reminds me a lot of what happened in Europe, especially considering that recently a few very prominent sanctioned members of the Russian government visited Geneva, Switzerland for a conference, where the sanctions were lifted for the time of their visit and where they were given a platform to spread Russian propaganda in front of European officials. Meanwhile, the average Ivan has to suffer the consequences because he started the war, I guess. Once again, sounds like justice. So, hey there people, it is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian. Welcome to a brand new video in which we'll talk about the topic of collective responsibility and if it's justified to punish a country's population for the actions of their governments. And I also want to talk about why, in my opinion, the EU is making a big mistake regarding Georgia and why I think the decision to not let Georgians travel in Europe is only going to backfire and increase the Russian presence in the country. I'll try to very briefly explain what is going on in Georgia right now. The ruling party of Georgia, called Georgian Dream, has been actually running the country since 2012, and even though they've always advertised themselves as a pro-European party that is trying to bring Georgia to the European Georgian Dream, the truth is that the party has actually drifted away from that direction and going more towards Russia, especially in the last 2 or 3 years. And despite the fact that the party still claims they're pro-European and they even got Georgia the candidate of joining EU status, the government has been passing extremely controversial laws. For example, the Foreign Agent law that is pretty much the exact copy of the Russian one, a law banning LGBT propaganda, which is also very similar to the one in Russia, plus several more laws aimed at restricting NGOs, media, and so on. The people of Georgia were not really happy about this, and massive protests took place all over the country. The biggest ones, of course, took place in Tbilisi, the capital city. These protests were absolutely wild and massive. There were a lot of crazy scenes and moments from these protests that went viral on the internet and so on. There were protesters of all ages, but especially a lot of them were young people, because the young generation of Georgia is very pro-Western, and they definitely want to move towards that pro-European route. So yeah, the protests in Georgia went on for a long time, and they still continue to stay on a small scale. However, the truth is that the protests did not succeed. The people didn't really manage to affect the government and change the situation, because in the end, the ruling party managed to pass all the laws that they wanted to pass, and also even won the next election. So as a result, a lot of people in Georgia are feeling pretty hopeless and powerless right now. They feel like their country is going in the wrong direction and they cannot affect it. And now, on top of all of this, the European Union decides to kick them when they're down and take away their ability to travel to Europe for essentially failing to overthrow their governments. Georgia's visa-free regime with the EU is currently at risk over backsliding concerns. The EU plans to reintroduce its visa regime in Georgia democratic backsliding. The European Commission will notify the South Caucasus decision by 31st of August. The European Commission is to send a letter to the executive and release suspending the visa liberalization regime in place since 2017 by 31st of August. The assault on democracy by Georgian Dream, the ruling party, is growing more severe. Said EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaya Kallas, what can we do? This includes suspending the visa-free regime, the association agreement, and sanctions. Now, some people in the EU do have some compassion for Georgians. We think that restrictions should be put on those who are responsible for repression and not on the people of Georgia, said Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski. But Kallas said the EU should be consistent with its political principles and needs. So far, we have got this position that we don't want to hurt Georgian people, and taking away the visa-free regime is really having an impact on them. But at the same time, it's also an issue of credibility of the EU. So she's basically saying, yes, we will hurt the Georgian people. Like, we don't want to, but we will. And this right here is actually the letter that was sent. Georgia is breaching fundamental rights and freedoms. They request the Georgian authorities to repeal the law on transparency of foreign influence of the foreign agent law and the legislative package on family values and protection of minors, and to amend the National Strategy and Action Plan on Human Rights to ensure that the rights of LGBTIQ persons are fully upheld. So basically, as far as I understand, the EU is trying to give an ultimatum to the Georgian government here, saying, look, if you don't stop with these crazy laws that you're passing, we are going to take away the right of your people to visit us. And your people will get really mad at you and will ask you questions. But the issue is that I just don't think that this is how it works. I hope that at this point, a lot of us understand that protests do not always work, and they do not always end in the government being changed and the protesters win. We've already had Hong Kong, we had Belarus, we had protests in Russia in 2011, and these recent Georgian protests now. I think they've shown us that things do not always play out perfectly in life, and not all demonstrations automatically end in the government being changed. And at this point, when I hear a person say stuff like, just overthrow the government, bro, or just overthrow Putin, bro, I already know that the person doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they're basically living in like a Marvel slop cinematic universe for babies where the good guys always win. If the logic behind taking away visa-free travel for Georgians is the same as the logic behind sanctions for Russians, to make the people want to stand up to their governments, and in Georgia's case, for the people to make their government act more pro-European, I really do not think that we are at a point in time when that is a possibility anymore. A lot of people like to point to Ukraine as a successful example of a post-Soviet country that had protests where they actually overthrew the government. But Ukraine was more of an exception to the rule, where a big part of the establishment actually supported the protesters. So would the European Union also sanction Ukrainian people in case the protests failed and the government stayed in power, and they would also take their visa-free regime away? I mean, this is just a hypothetical, because Ukrainian citizens actually didn't have visa-free travel with the EU in 2013, 2014, but you get what I mean, right? If anything, I think that this decision will actually backfire and only further Russian presence and Russian interests in the region. A lot of young Georgians who have always sided with the West, who protested against the government, and who wanted a European future for Georgia, a lot of these people are feeling very disappointed and even betrayed by the West. And even though I don't think that young people in Georgia will necessarily turn away from the West in massive amounts, they will definitely hold a grudge. And the Georgian government will use this as propaganda, by the way. They will tell the people that, look, this is exactly what we've been telling you. You cannot deal with these Westerners. You cannot get too close to them. They're gonna lie to you. They never keep their promises, and they even abandon those that support them. So stay with us, okay? And it is going to work in a big number of people, especially those who have already been skeptical towards the West in some regard. Which is also exactly what Russia is currently doing. They constantly talk about how the West cannot be trusted, how they hate all Russians, and how they sanctioned all of us regardless. So actually, guys, you should stick with us, with Vladimir Putin. We're actually the ones who are rooting for you guys. And a lot of people fall for this kind of rhetoric. They become more resentful, more bitter towards the West. And it's very possible that something like this might happen in Georgia. And also, traveling is one of the best ways to look at different parts of the world, get a new perspective, and also take a look at your own country. Perhaps one of the reasons why the Georgian people, and especially the Georgian people, really wanted to join Europe is because they had the opportunity to visit so many European countries without any hassle and issues. And when visiting those countries, they saw in those countries they impacts and things that you can improve upon, things that Georgia could strive towards. However, if you cut all of this and introduce visa requirements, the amount of people who will get to travel to Europe from Georgia will massively decrease, and many people who used to visit Europe often will no longer have this opportunity. And while the European Union thinks that they can maybe scare the Georgian government with this kind of proposal, I think they're actually playing into exactly what the government wants. Because it is way easier to control a population that does not travel and see the world. You see, as a Russian, I've always thought that maybe if the Russian people got to travel around Europe a little more, or maybe just left the country more in general, Russia would be way different and way more normal. Because our people could actually see other countries, see how life can be better, and maybe even get inspired by other countries' achievements. However, since a lot of Russians are simply just too poor to travel, over 70% of the country has never been abroad. And when you have a population like that has never seen any kind of different life or society, it is very easy to control them, manipulate them, and feed them any narrative. Of course, these people will believe that everybody in the West is drowning in, LGBT Nazi debauchery, and that older people are just in ruins and in crime, that everybody in Europe is freezing without Russian gas, and that, everybody hates Russians. They will believe in it because they've never seen and probably will never see these places with their own eyes. So I feel like the European Union wants to support the pro-Western, pro-European-minded Georgian people, and also to make sure that the amount of these people grows in the country. The solution is definitely not restricting Georgian people from mental punishments. Because the new order of things will only incentivize people to not be pro-European, to have zero connection to Europe. And this kind of isolation only lets Russia come in and have an even easier time spreading their propaganda and narratives inside Georgia. And also, if the European Union is really concerned with the situation regarding LGBT rights in Georgia and how the government has been cracking down on them, I really don't think that the solution is to cut off the access to Europe from people who might be under danger of persecution. Right now, as I'm recording this video, if you're a Georgian who's also LGBT, and if you're facing some sort of homophobic threats or persecution or stalking or danger, you can simply take a flight to Europe, be in safety, and then figure out a way, maybe even possibly apply for asylum. If the visa requirements get reintroduced though, you will be stuck in Georgia with no way out, facing potential risk. Now this right here totally sounds like something that is going to improve the life and the rights of LGBT people in Georgia, right? I mean, hey guys, what do I mean? Now again, I'm not trying to say that the situation where the Russian citizens got sanctioned because of the war that was started by the government is the exact same as what could happen to Georgians, because contextually they're very different, but the logic that is applied here towards the Russian and the Georgian people by the West feels very similar. We don't care what you think, we don't care where you stand, and if you risk your freedom protesting against the government, you will still suffer because of their actions. And it just really hurts, and it really sucks to see this stuff happening once again, especially to a country that I actually like and that I have a connection with, and where I have friends and stuff. I just don't think that my Georgian friends deserve to have travel issues because of this. And again, another thing that needs to be pointed out here is the blatant hypocrisy and how unfairly all of this works. While the regular Georgian people will have to deal with new visa issues and fees, the government officials will be just fine. They already have tons of real estate in Europe, they have relatives living there and stuff, they're sad. None of the higher-ups of the governments are going to be having any issues with their lavish European vacations. Also very similar to how things worked out with Russia as well. The peasants suffer while the rich and the powerful are barely affected. And now guys, apparently, even during the war with Ukraine, sanctioned Russian governmental officials get to visit Europe. On July 28, 2025, Valentina Matvienko, the spokesperson of the Federation Council of Russia, so literally one of the top officials in the entire country, the top-ranking female official in Russia, very closely related to Putin and his inner circle, she and her delegation from Russia attended the Inter-Parliamentary Union's 6th World Conference of Speakers of Parliament and the 15th Summit of Women Speakers of Parliament. So basically, even if you have direct impact on the war in Ukraine, if you're a girl boss, it's fine. You can attend conferences in Europe. Part of the Russian delegation is under European Union and Swiss sanctions and actively supports Russia's war in Ukraine. Switzerland generally prohibits people subject to sanctions from entering or transiting through the country under its ordinance on measures related to the situation in Ukraine. However, the State Secretariat for Migration and the Foreign Ministry may grant exemptions, especially if the person in question is attending an international conference. So how very nice, guys. And also Valentina Matvienko was given a stage. She literally disseminated Russian propaganda talking points from it, and a lot of EU lawmakers and delegates even walked out during her speech. So I mean, what can I I say this? It's just incredible, isn't it? It's just incredible how this stuff works. And I mean, look, I'm not exactly very surprised with this.
Taking a minute. I shouldn't be doing this grind, but I'm gonna do it.
Hypocrisy in the big 2025 is actually, once again, all Georgian citizens that protested against the
Yeah, I shouldn't do this grind, but I'm gonna do it. I'm getting the right area.
And meanwhile, a Russian governmental official who is sanctioned by everybody and everything, a person who is literally in Putin's closest circle, gets to girl boss and visit a conference in Geneva because you see they just specifically lifted sanctions for her visit. Incredible justice and integrity right here, guys. What even is the point of the sanctions then? If Hitler gets to visit anywhere. And a lot of people have also been pointing out that the way that Georgia is being treated right now is very hypocritical, especially if you take into account the situation in Serbia. Serbia is another non-EU country that is currently friendly with Europe and that is also going through a political crisis. The Serbian people have been protesting against corruption in the government of Aleksandar Vučić for several months on end. And the Serbian government has also been taking undemocratic measures and cutting down on freedom of speech and protest in the country, while Vučić still has a pretty firm grip on power. But unlike the situation in Georgia, though, in this case the EU turns a blind eye. Despite the Serbian government acting undemocratic, the EU still continues to be friendly with Vučić and continuing talks about European integration, pretty much completely ignoring the Serbian people's struggle against the government. People usually connect this to the fact that the EU is really interested in mining in Serbia and the country's lithium resources, which is really happy to be fun. And apparently Serbia's prime minister is just too much of a valuable asset for Europe to lose, so he never gets called out for being anti-democratic. The EU's overall silence on the protest.
What an unbelievably crazy week on. I was just talking about French streamer Jean Parmenov, who passed away in his sleep on stream after a marathon of abuse from some other streamers. And just now, I literally just finished streaming Resident Evil 6, and I was taking a little tinkle, and I got sent a little something that is so diabolical. I had to hop back in the saddle and yap about it. It is incomprehensible that yet another potential death was just streamed on Kick. I'm recording this an hour after it happened, and the victim is currently still in the ICU, so I guess by the time I post this, I'll know whether or not they passed away, but I'm going to keep this part in here right now because it's up in the air. A Kick streamer, Raja Jackson, who is the son of Rampage Jackson, and also a professional fighter, just went fucking ballistic on a wrestler during a wrestling event on stream. He picks the wrestler up, slams him on the mat, and then lays down 27 punches to the man's skull, most of which were delivered while he was unconscious. And by the end of it, he is bleeding and bloodied. They couldn't wake him up. They said he was barely breathing, and someone even used the word flatline, that he was flatlined in the ring. This is not fake. This is not scripted. To censor this, it is brutal. It is extremely hard to watch. I also cut the clip short, but they pan back and he is covered in blood. Raja Jackson is a professional fighter who has unloaded, I counted 27 blows to an unconscious man. And they all are connected. This
Welcome
is
back.
Not like fake, it's not like he's pulling any of his punches. They are all hitting squarely on this man's skull, bouncing his head off of the mat. And I said most of them were when he was unconscious. All of them are while he's unconscious. When I watched it back, it's clear that when he slammed him on the mat, his head hit the mat and it knocked him out immediately. So all 27, potentially more, punches that he threw were on an unconscious man. That can be fatal. That is most oftentimes fatal. And he wasn't done either. It's not like he just stopped and said, okay, well that's plenty. I've had my fill. He was still going. The only reason there weren't more punches thrown by him is because the other wrestlers were able to separate him. But he was fighting against them to go back and keep beating this unconscious man. He probably wouldn't have stopped punching him until his head popped like a balloon. It's extremely scary, and even if he does pull through, this could have life-changing repercussions with brain damage and so many other complications for the He's still in the ICU and we don't have any updates. This is terrifying stuff. Hello, it's Charles, first thing in the morning here, and we don't have a ton of official updates on the condition of that wrestler, but the father of Raja Jackson, Rampage Jackson, gave an update where he is saying that Psycho Stu, that's the name of the wrestler, is alive and is stable. And he also says that he's clearing up misinformation about his son. But then in his statement, he doesn't clear up any misinformation. He just confirms what everyone already knows, that this was completely out of control, inexcusable behavior that Rampage Jackson also doesn't condone. So I don't know what misinformation he thinks he's clearing up with this. He's just agreeing with what
I don't
everyone
really
that his son
agree with
fucking berserk. I guess maybe the misinformation demon that he was
We'll see.
exercising here was about his son actually getting like the permission for payback on Psycho Stu for an earlier confrontation. And what he's referring to there is they had like a little beef before the event started, and someone had told Raja Jackson that he could like double leg take down Psycho Stu in the ring and then throw like a fake punch, and that would be it, to like settle the beef and create like this storyline. But Raja Jackson on stream, on camera, says that he is going to hurt Psycho Stu. He said he will not stop punching him until people will yank him off of him. So he took that like pseudo invite, like green light to be involved in the wrestling event as a permission slip to go brutally assault this man and beat him within an inch of his life. Like, I think you could also make a case that this is attempted murder. This was premeditated assault that he planned on not stopping at any point until third parties intervened. Like, I really think you could make like a real argument that he had went in there with the full intentions of killing Psycho Stu. That's what it looks like to me.
Tell you guys this, they told me to hit him and just leave. Somebody who pull me off of him will leave. I'm telling you, I'm gonna hit him as many times as I can. Watch.
That's indefensible. You can see him literally planning it off the back of them giving him like the instructions for a work where he'd come in and he'd deliver like a hit, like a fake hit, and then he'd be pulled off and that'd be the end of it. And he is saying, oh, watch this, I'm going to keep punching him. Like, he is blatantly stating this. It is very clearly a premeditated assault. And like I said, I really think his goal was to kill Psycho Stu there. It really seems like that was his mission. And you can't chalk this up to confusion where he was directed to do something but then just went a little far, like, mistakenly. He is, with his own voice, his own vocal folds, flapping with their own volition here. He is stating, they told me to do this, but instead, I'm going to do this. I'm going to punch him as many times as I possibly can. He is stating clearly that they told him one thing, and he is not doing that. Instead, he is going to punch the shit out of him, beat him within an inch of his life. You can't possibly say that he just got confused with the stage directions here of the storyline. He is saying that he is going to go punch him as many times as possible and disregard what they said he is permitted to do, like what they planned on. It is premeditated assault by every possible definition. Now, what started all of this, and I've seen people joking about it like, oh, haha, Raja Jackson must not know that wrestling is fake, and he thought the heel was being mean to his favorite babyface, so he took matters into his own hands, TBD. But what actually happened is Raja Jackson was touring the event and meeting the wrestlers backstage. And of course, the wrestlers are all playing characters, and when it comes to wrestling, there's a little something called kayfabe. And so they are going to portray their character to the best of their ability and keep everything as authentic and genuine as possible. And Psycho Stu was in character and misunderstood that Raja Jackson was not a worker in the event.
Worry about him. Worry about Psycho Stu.
Psycho Stu?
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little...
Oh, you gonna
He's not a fucking worker, bro.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
You don't saw it? Dude, he's not a fucking worker, bro.
What the fuck was that? Hold on. I don't play that shit. Nah, I will fuck him
We're
up.
good. I know you will. We're good.
And he takes it way too far when he takes a beer can. I don't know if it's like a real beer can or like one of those breakaway like stunt ones, but he takes it and he crushes it on Raja Jackson's head. Then you can see him get really fired up about it, and all the other wrestlers are also saying to Psycho Stu, like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? He's not like a worker here or anything. That was too far. And that's what started this. And then Raja Jackson waited until their match. Then he stormed in and then beat him potentially to death for it. Now, I think if Raja Jackson had swung on Psycho Stu after the beer can thing, you could definitely make a strong case that he was acting in self-defense. Because that is unexpected, it was unprovoked, and it was kind of a crazy thing for Psycho Stu to do, not knowing for sure if Raja Jackson was a worker in the event or not. It was a bad judgment call for sure from Stu. And he was just like way too fucking committed to being the heel. Like he was really deep into his method acting like fucking Shia LaBeouf style, and he did the beer can thing, and it was definitely over the line. But here's something a lot of people aren't showing enough of, that Psycho Stu was very apologetic when he learned that Raja Jackson was not a worker at the event. He apologized 3 times. They shook hands multiple times, and Raja said, like, hey, it's good, I get it. Multiple times. Meanwhile, he was just like bubbling with anger, waiting for his chance to fucking assault this man.
Fucking feel that.
I'm
sorry, bro. Hey, it's gonna all work out.
Yeah, hello. I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I thought you were camera. I get it. We're working out. Well, he's gonna come out on your mat, Juice. I know you keep thinking we're working. We're always working.
I get it. Yeah. I get it now. Now you
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're always working.
What a fucking worm. This is some slimy behavior here. This is some turbo ass. Raja Jackson is now pretending that he understands and forgives Psycho Stu, who is very apologetic, mind you. And he's explaining, like, look, I saw the cameras. I thought that this was like another storyline, this and that. And Raja Jackson's like, no, I get it. He's like shaking his hand and everything. Meanwhile, he is actively planning of assaulting this man, beating him unconscious and fucking leaving him eating meals through a straw. As he is like pretending to let bygones be bygones here and that they're on good terms. That's fucking unhinged. Before showing you some more of the aftermath here, let me introduce you to Psycho Stu.
What up, man?
Get a little bit of the lore behind this wrestler that Raja Jackson beat so severely, hospitalizing in the ICU, and apparently caused to flatline in the ring.
Bro, in 2009, I had just got out of the military, probably about 6 months earlier. I got out of the military, I joined Knox Pro, because I needed something to focus on. I needed something to help me adjust back into civilian life. A lot of veterans, it's hard for them to readjust into civilian life coming from the life of the military. I'm an American soldier that suffers from PTSD. Being in front of a crowd doesn't give me as much anxiety and aggression as I thought it would.
Yeah. Psycho Stu is a veteran who was suffering from PTSD and found wrestling as a means of escapism and fell in love with the sport. And now is currently hospitalized in the ICU, but apparently is stable, so hopefully Rampage Jackson is accurate with that claim that he is alive and stable. That would be wonderful news. But what an unbelievable set of circumstances that led to his hospitalization here. Yes, he made a mistake with Rampage Jackson's son here, not knowing whether or not he was a worker and still building the storyline anyway under the impression he was. But it's not a mistake that should have led to something like this, especially when he did everything in his power to try and rectify it and try and apologize for his mistake and explain why it happened and ensure that it was totally unintentional and there wasn't meant to be any bad blood or anything. And he thought that he did accomplish that, but clearly Raja Jackson didn't actually think so. He was just acting. Raja Jackson was flexing his thespian skills here when he was pretending that everything was okay between those two. Because what he was actually doing was plotting a premeditated assault on Psycho Stu. Again, that potential argument of self-defense, that has poofed away like Timmy Turner's fairy godparents. That ship sailed a long time ago because he didn't act in response to the threat. Like, after the beer can was crushed on his head, which, again, he wasn't expecting, and that can be dangerous, but he didn't, like, act in the heat of the moment to defend himself from that or anything. Instead, he let it marinate, let his rage bubble up, and then waited for his opportunity to get revenge later. There is no longer a possible case of self-defense here. Like, yes, he was wronged, but he didn't, like, try and defend himself from that threat or anything. He pretended to, like, move on from it with the guy who did it, and then waited to attack him later. And I think you can make a very strong case that it was attempted murder. At the very least, it is a premeditated assault, and based on the things he was saying leading up to it, and based on the behavior in the ring when he was delivering 27-ish blows to an unconscious man's skull, I really think there is a strong argument to be made that he was in there doing that solely to try and kill him. All of this on stream, mind you, and you can even see him respond to the news that the guy that he just unloaded 27 punches on in the ring while he was unconscious is potentially flatlined.
Hello? Shit pissed me off though, Andre.
I understand that, but now they can't wake the nigga up. He's fucking in the ring, fucking flatline, bro.
My bad.
You didn't have to do all that shit. I understand y'all had heat. You didn't have to fucking take it there.
I'll call you back later.
This guy does not seem to care at all. This is a fucking monster right here. In response to hearing that the guy flatlined, he just says, "My bad." That's crazy. Kratos had more empathy for the people that he killed in very similar fashion, by the way, with like the unbelievable amount of blows to the head. But at least in Kratos' case, the people he was fighting, they were at least conscious. All of these were delivered to an unconscious man. A man who never even saw this coming, by the way, because he storms into the ring, grabs him, and then slams him. So it wasn't even a fight, but he walks away feeling so fucking tough and accomplished about it with no remorse at all for potentially killing this man.
Tired of motherfuckers playing with me, bro. Real shit. One of them a bitch and fucking bit me. I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me and shit. Think I'm always playing and shit. Call me bitch and shit. Not no fucking bitch, bro. At the end of the day, I'ma stand up for my fucking self because I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me, bro. Real shit.
He's walking away from this with his chin held high, extremely proud of what's unfolded here. It seems like this might be the happiest moment of his life. The way that he is perceiving this is him standing up for himself. He is not able to have a grasp on the severity of what just happened here. He thinks that because the disrespect that he encountered earlier in the day, he was entirely justified to potentially murder this man. And by the way, the wrestlers that were calling him a bitch, well, I imagine they were saying that because he basically sucker punched this guy potentially to death. The guy never even had a chance to fight back because he came into the ring when his back was turned, slammed him down, immediately knocking him unconscious. It wasn't even a fight, it was a surprise attack. So I imagine that's what he's referencing when it comes to the wrestlers like insulting him and the one that bit him, with everyone that was like getting on top of Raja to get him away from Psycho Stu on the ground because he was still going back to try and make sure he was dead. Now in the rest of the clip here, one of the wrestlers from the event starts walking towards them, talking to them, trying to get them to stay. Probably until police get there would be my guess. But he is talking to them and he is shit-talking, trying to goad him into staying. And he's like talking about like, I'll fight you right now, and then it's a back and forth. But Raja Jackson reiterates that he wants to fight more of them there. He wants to continue to beat people within an inch of their life. It's scary. I cannot imagine a world where he does not go to jail for this. I really can't. Rampage Jackson has tons and tons of money, sure, but I don't know if he's going to be able to outspend the attempted murder charges that his son just racked up here. Now, of course, I'm not a lawyer and I don't have like a magic crystal ball that I can ponder the orb of to see the future, but my guess
That's
would
like,
be
how the hell
that
do you have a
there
cool
will
name
be
and then
attempted
like
murder
you're
charges,
fucking cripple?
for
Party
this
100. Mornings
because,
Tar Sewer
I mean, I
422
really think
cheered
it's
100 bits.
Hey, thank you for the 100 biddies.
When Raja Jackson was delivering,
Much appreciated, Morningstar.
At bare minimum, you're getting some serious assault charges.
Definitely appreciate that.
I think he should be thrown in the slammer for this.
Let's see if this
is
works.
Completely unacceptable. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was on screen, and he clearly doesn't stop until he was pulled off, and then still wants wants to keep going. All of these blows delivered to an unconscious man. How could you possibly say this is anything other than him trying to kill him? It's fucking sickening. Now, like I said at the start of the video, I've recorded all of this pretty much immediately after it happened, so we still don't know how Psycho Stu is doing, if he's going to pull through from all of this or not. But by the time I post this video, I imagine we'll have some kind of update.
Yeah, that works still.
Oh, hey there. Hi, hello. These sexiest people to ever grace the face of YouTube are all right here, right now. And I'm so glad that you would spend some of your weekend with me. It has been a week. It has been a whole entire week, y'all. A very good week, in fact. Let me just tell you this right now. I spent the week out in Texas with some of the best people that I have ever met, man. Some of you guys might know them as the Unsubscribed podcast. You know, there's the Fat Electrician. There's Brandon Herrera, whose shirt I'm wearing right now because he's running for Congress. There's my boy Cody, the donut operator. There's Eli Double Tap. We are out there with angry cops. Rich was there the whole entire time. We had King Trout there. Oh my God, it was such a good time. And let me tell you this, man. A lot of people sleep on Texas. A lot of people sleep on Texas. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Texas is absolutely amazing. Yo, Mob Stopper, love you, homie. That's one of our day ones. And Sarah Beamer, thank you so much, sis. I love you. That's huge. Appreciate you. Sarah said, what's up, JDU Plop? For those of you who don't know, a plop is a slur that was made up. It's not really a slur. It's not like a bad slur, but it's an unsub slur. And I think it's hilarious. You also have Pepperbacks. You have Nick because the Fat Electrician's name is Nick. So Nick, but it's C's. It's a C. It's a C. There's no G in the entire word.
Oh my God.
Say hi to Eli in the after show.
What are you saying?
So much love and respect for you, Jax, Eli, and Jelly. I don't think it's on YouTube yet, so no spoilers, but damn good. Love you, brother. Sarah, I have not gotten to see it yet, but I was talking to Eli and Tex all day, man. What an incredible dude. Man, I have loved those guys so much. Going out there and spending time with them in Texas was such a huge blessing, as are you, Sarah. Thank you so much for that support and the kind words. I personally can't wait to see that episode because, you know, he just made me feel so comfortable because he's such a genuine and kind, authentic dude. I was really able to talk more about my relationship with Jax, more about our history in ways and about stuff that I haven't talked about before. So it means so much to me that you came here and said that because it was a little vulnerable. I got a little vulnerable with Eli. You know what I'm saying? But he made it completely comfortable for me. And I love you, sis. Dominar, what is up? JD, just wanted to let you know that I'm a proud member of PETA. People eating tasty animals, my guy. I'm going to tell you this right now. I just had some ground turkey meal prep shit, which is pretty much, I eat that at least once a day. But I'm telling you, I really will mess a bird up, bro. I will all the way eat a cow. You know, I got to go out. Let me just tell you a quick story before we get into this. Rich, Angry Cops. Some of y'all might know him from right here on the YouTube. Great guy. He took me out to a place in the middle of nowhere outside San Antonio, Texas.
Yes, you do.
To see my new friend JT. Some of you might know him from I'm for Pie or as one of the founders of the Black Rifle Coffee Company. And he has a beautiful house out there. He has Caleb Francis living with him. Heather Lynn lives with him. And he cooked us $500 tomahawk steaks. Got to kick it. This whole trip was so incredible. Having Cody, my friend donut operator, invite me into his new beautiful home was such an honor. He's an ex-law enforcement officer, and he felt comfortable enough to invite this 58-time convicted felon into his home and to let me pet his dogs. I mean, I got to go to his old house and everything, but his new home is so incredible. I got to see Jeeves again. You know, I got to meet Doug, the golden retriever, and he let me play with his bomb squad robot, like the SWAT team. bomb squad robot. That shit was incredible. Mobstopper said rearrange Ginger and you get the N-word. I'm not gonna do that, brother. I'm not gonna do. I'm allowed to say Ginger and put the hardest of R's on it. Ginger. But I don't do that other one, bro.
Battery with a
Valley
bugger.
Gamer, great to see you, family. What's up?
Had a very bad
Brew it on the way down to Arizona and back, but I haven't had a bad experience yet. Let me tell you, man, the food, the people
see.
love me some Texas. What are they spelling out here? www. Oh, just wins? We're just winning? Okay, please don't spam though. Please don't make. Let me tell you something about our mods here. We have the best mods on the face of YouTube, bro.
But I can't handle just not hearing shit, so that's annoying. I wonder why there's this being said.
And you know, sometimes I know people love nostalgia. You know, people love for the days where things were nice and old. You know, sometimes I do too. Now, obviously, everyone loves Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, and I'm just gonna straight up say it. I think there is some fear going on. I think these critics are afraid to call out some really bad problems.
A baddie with a bug.
This game is not a free game. If you go to Steam right now, it's a $93.49 Canadian game. Okay, so it's a pretty expensive affair. Okay, I'm sure that, you know, somebody who's like, man, I really want to buy a brand new game. Hopefully this
Yeah, he would be like one of those types. He comes off as one.
This is Metal Gear Solid 3, okay? Metal Gear Solid 3 is a good game. If you've never played Metal Gear Solid 3, play Metal Gear Solid 3. I've made several videos on Metal Gear Solid. I love this franchise. Actually, that is the only reason that I'm making this video. That's the only reason I made any videos on Metal Gear.
Metal Gear Solid 3 was so good.
All over Konami, okay? When I spread my ass cheeks and lay a fat dumpy when they've laid a fat dumpy for consumers to buy. Now, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, obviously you remember that trash fire when it dropped, okay?
You gotta go. Have a good one. You have a good one. I'll see you later. Might be on later tonight. Who knows?
Where my standard, you know, I have some phrases on this channel like, but Muda, here's another phrase, okay? Just fucking emulate it, okay? That's it. At this point, okay, if a bad release comes out, like a bad remaster, just emulate it, okay? Emulators are so good these days that you could literally run Grand Theft Auto 5 on an emulator on smartphone today. Okay, that's how crazy the world has kind of gotten.
Peace, brother.
So, yeah. Anyways, tangent aside, the reason why I'm actually a little bit like pissed off about this is that apparently this game runs like dog shit. So I'm going to show you a clip of a channel. Now, I don't have access to the game myself. You know, Konami's kind of handing the stuff out to press, but some people have got access and they've showcased some footage here. So this guy claims to have an RTX 3060. Now, why is the 3060 so important? Well, if you go to the Steam hardware survey, apparently the most popular GPU that I think people have is an RTX 3060. At least that's the highest percentage on the Steam hardware survey, okay? So this is the GPU that most people have. Now, this game looks okay, but if you look carefully, this guy's running it at 1080p native DLA, so this is 1080p, okay? Just, you know, resolution that's been around for a long time now. Low settings on a 3060. Now, if you go to the Steam page for this shit, what is the recommended GPU? A motherfucking 3080, okay? So the 3060, it's not as powerful, but it ain't no slouch. Certainly should be running this shit at medium settings. How does it run? Let's watch. Homie, it is running at a good, cool average of 50 frames. Actually less, okay? We're looking at 40-ish frames. This game is lagging and having a time on a fucking RTX 3060. So again, you might be like, well, it's a PC version of the game, Muda, and it's also Unreal Engine 5. It's known to run like ass. And I kind of have to eat crow here. I talked about Unreal Engine in a video like a week ago. And, you know, I want to kind of expand on it. I want to apologize a little bit to the Unreal Engine team because it's not that they've made a bad engine. It's just that some of the feature set that they've used and they've showcased, they're really good with it. And I've seen videos from, like, Unreal Engine developers where they've shown you how to optimize things like Lumen and Nanite, where, you know, unfortunately it seems some developers seem to be turning on these feature sets without properly optimizing, or at least, you know, optimizing the game in ways where they don't have to use certain feature sets. They can do things the old-fashioned way. Optimization really is kind of a lost art.
So I don't know whether it's the engine necessarily to blame, or it's a lot of developers that are not completely versed in the engine. They're just turning on features like software ray tracing, like nanite, without properly optimizing it for every single scene or part of the games that they're working with to eke as much performance out. Now, if you look at this game, it's a one-to-one remake of a PlayStation 2 game. So for instance, this clip from the Rad Brad, so he had like a full 3 hours of the game that he posted before it came out. He'll show you very quickly what I mean. So this is a very pretty looking game. I'm running it at 4K just to show you guys how good the textures look. Like, it is definitely a good looking game. I'm not gonna deny it. But see where this happens, where like it fades to black and then it fades to a new area? It's because the game is literally split up in the same manner that the original, over 20-year PlayStation 2 release has actually been like played out right. Now, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater released in 2004, making this game basically 20 plus years old, okay? So when the PlayStation 2 had to split up the levels, it's because the PlayStation 2 was a vastly inferior system to systems that we have now. You might be like, but Muda, the game looks really good. The game does look good. I showed you that it looks pretty okay. But it doesn't look better than, I would say, a lot of other games that are also releasing too. It's your standard average Unreal Engine 5 game. It doesn't look necessarily earth-shattering. It also doesn't look necessarily terrible either. But for a game that is running such chronically small maps, okay? The fact that we have performance issues with just the small maps combined with the limited AI that is already roaming through here, when this game actually has some real action, that's when it gets downright hilarious. So the guys over at Digital Foundry, thankfully, had a press version of the game, and they recorded a whole bunch of footage on the PlayStation 5 base and the Pro. And what I'm about to show you will absolutely shock you. I want you to watch this clip, and then we'll break it down together.
Those explosive barrels all conspire to tank that frame rate during combat, and we're more realistically operating at between 30 to 50 FPS. I've taken the more run and gun approach in this case, but even sticking to stealth, this does sadly fall outside the VRR window on PS5. In comparing the two PS5 machines directly with a matched route, the base model is enjoying up to a +7 FPS advantage over Pro hardware. Every segment of—
Guys, I think we are fucking cooked on release if we're gonna charge 80 bucks for a goddamn day one release, and somehow the more expensive PlayStation 5, okay, the more expensive one runs at a shittier fucking frame rate than the base model. So for some reason, according to the fellows over at Digital Foundry, what happened over here was the development team had rendered the game at lower than apparently sub 20p resolution, and then upscaled it with things like PSSR. So if you're looking at this really quickly, okay, the performance mode for the PlayStation 5 looks okay. That's probably what I would play it at. You've got graphics mode that, you know, looks a little better, I would say, resolves better, but I ain't losing 30 frames. And then of course you got the Pro, which is like, holy shit, what are my cataracts? No, you're watching the video at whatever quality you set it to. The game just looks that motherfucking blurry. So a lot of these games use things like dynamic resolution scaling, which like blurs the image to meet like a frame rate requirement. So let's
really
say,
bad.
oh man, the game is about to drop frames. Let's just drop the resolution so we can kill the GPU load and push more frames out. So you technically get that clean, consistent 60 FPS. So over here with the PS5 performance, this is just base stuff, at the lowest, the game runs at 720p. We are matching PlayStation 3 era here, boys. PlayStation 3 era. On a video game that doesn't even look that great. Remember, Death Stranding 2 just dropped, okay? I think I'm getting the call from the Konami Assassins, but we'll hold off on that. I'll deal with that in due time. And then, of course, on the quality mode, the game jumps from, 1080p at the minimum all the way up to 1584p. So it is not a substantially good showing. And I'm just going to be completely real with you. I think this defense needs to relax. Now, I've seen a lot of people kind of misinform users, okay? Man, the PlayStation 2 version looked really ethereal. Soul versus soulless. The thing is, it's from like a re-release, like the Bluepoint re-release. Actually, the new version is pretty close to the original PlayStation 2 release. You still definitely do have that ethereal glow that you probably want in the original. But I would say that I do prefer the look of the original just because it matches more of the PS2 aesthetic. This kind of looks closer to, I don't know, something like a Gmod, like, fucking...
Yeah, Gmod loading screen.
That said, I'm not here to get down onto the graphics. I'm here to talk about the performance issue. And that's a big problem, right? Like, look, I'm not going to say that Unreal Engine games are the big problem, but one of the things that I've been...
Yeah, don't. Yeah. Ooh.
What? How's everyone doing? Blaqksheep, nice to see you. Mr. Awesome, thank you. Mr. Awesome, thank you for the support. Looking forward to coming down there and waxing your head. Raw Dakota, nice to see you. Hopefully you're going to take your boat out with your cat and have a romantic evening. Eduardo, that's strange that you said that, but have a good night. Raw Dakota has gifted a membership. This lunatic has gifted a membership. It's been 2 seconds. Thank you for the support, guys. Today, it'll be a chill, slow day. We're gonna play this, so get ready. We're gonna play some Mario Kart today. We're going to all lose to General. I see him in the chat. I see him here. I'm gonna say this, General Zamora. You're not allowed to use your because what's the point? What's the point of you playing?
R.I.P. to the Gothic bad boy, King Cobra JFS.
Yeah. Shout out to 4K Chris for saying that, dude. Terrible, terrible, terrible. All right, so J Rock is here. Says, if only my manual was long enough as my membership stream. That's my brother-in-law talking about his dick. Saw your movie, Eduardo. Awesome. I'm surprised you saw my movie on websites because it's not edited yet. It's on that hard drive right over there. Anyways, yeah, it is depressing. 4K Chris. Yes, I said that out. Listen, appreciate everyone coming through on this Sunday. I'm gonna just be transparent with you guys because you know I'm always open and transparent. I have a massive headache today. So, we're gonna play Mario Kart. I'm not taking time off. I'm not ending the stream early. I'm just telling you guys, like, I'm hopped up on like 16 pounds of Advil. And I've got my ginger ale here. This was sent in, actually flown in by the one and only Booch. Boochy. Just dropped it off. So, thank you to the Booch for saving my life. Oh, it's a good year. So thank you. Appreciate the Booch. Love the Booch. Hope the Booch is going well. Oh. Grim says, I saw your movie at church. Well, yeah. That's the last place you're going to see my movie. Trust me. I'm not giving anything away, but my movie's not about a happy family. If you guys saw behind the scenes, then if anything, the church is not going to like my movie because it's not anti-religion, but it does question a few things in the Bible, which we're shooting tomorrow. So tomorrow, by the way, at noon, I'll be going live from the church if we have an internet signal out there. I'll be like 45 minutes into the middle of nowhere in this old church. So tomorrow, noon, live stream. Pinky will be your host tomorrow while I'm directing the scene tomorrow. I'm super excited. We actually have permission to shoot at this old church. It's a spooky. Let me show you what the church looks like quickly. So today we're gonna play some Mario Kart. Also, a lot of people yesterday asked me if I was gonna release the movie on Blu-ray or 4K. So what I'm gonna actually do is I'm going to create a Google form, and I want to see how many people are interested in it if I get enough people, then I will release it on Blu-ray and 4K. I don't want to print them myself. So here's the top. You can't really make it out. So the church tomorrow. That's going to be amazing.
Vinkus, your mama's coming home.
Well, that didn't work, Master Betty. You're fired. You're fired. Is that church haunted? Yes. How do you create a Blu-ray? So there, basically, you create it in software, and then you send off this image, the image of the disc, and they print it, and they have labels and all that stuff. So if I want to do this properly, I have to print at least 100 of them. I don't think I can sell it. Maybe I could, guys, if they were cheaper, but I think it's going to cost about $1,000 to print 100, something like that, or less, something like, yeah, something like that. I forget how much they cost each, but the more you buy, the cheaper it is. So I need to see how many people out of my audience will actually literally purchase it, and then I can use that. I think I'll sell myself 50. 1,000 of them? No, sorry. I mean, you have to. Well, the minimum order is 100 of them, not 1,000. I apologize. So, no, I made that up. I think it's about $4 to $5 a Blu-ray to print now. I think it could be cheaper. If it's cheaper, that just means I'm going to sell it to you guys cheaper. I'm not trying to make money on it.
I'm gonna see if the ice cream melted.
Not trying to make money off the.
We had a power outage a little while ago. That was serious. I don't know if it fixed it or not.
So is Rich's, but it's in the stubby cock section.
I mean, he's not lying.
Also, I need to make some more food before I go. But once I do this, I'm gonna hit the. I'm gonna head downstairs. I'm gonna end here, and yeah.
How are you, by the way? I see Ralph here. Nice
Deal with it
Ralph. I'm gonna come down there and
later tonight.
We've got Grim Tim. Listen, Tim. You're gonna come down here, get on your knees, and pray. What happened to my shirt? It's designed to look like that, Mr. Awesome. It's designed to look like we got in a sexual tussle. You know what I mean?
You fucking
Alright. Well, hopefully everyone has a good Sunday. Ralph says he's hard, so that's something I do. Yeah, I'm losing it already. Drummer plug. Somebody help me. So, you guys ready for Mario Kart today? We're gonna give them a little bit more time to get in here. It's only been 14 minutes. We'll give them about half an hour to get in here. That way we can get a full room of Mario Kart today and have some fun. I know that a lot of people have been waiting for this because we haven't played Mario for a while. Here we go. Here we go. Is it going to be this all day? Is it going to be this all day, Tim? Because if it is, I'm going to get bricked up. Looks like that cup was stolen from Pizza Hut. Look, it actually was. Take Vapus to Pizza Hut? Dude, if I took Vapus to Pizza Hut, we'd be there for 4 hours. He doesn't, he's so indecisive. I'd be like pepperoni, bacon, green pepper. He'd be like pepperoni, green pepper, green olive. I'd be like, okay, fine. What dipping sauce do you want? He'd be like, garlic. No, ranch. No, jalapeno chicken. No, hot sauce. No, marinara. I'd be like, Vapist, I'm gonna kill you and put you in a canoe and send it out right.
That's not what it said.
And then the FBI would show up because I'm threatening to kill him. Okay. Dimitri, I don't know what I just said, but it was a joke. Listen, ASMR stream with Rich when? Dude, how the fuck would you do that? Be two Italian men going like this.
We're gonna eat pasta. We've got veal sandwiches. We've got veal sandwiches in the freezers. We're gonna defrost them. We're gonna burn down Rich's house in an oven fire. Dreamcast guy's gonna save the day by throwing a wet carp into the oven, extinguishing the fire instantly. Intro guy is gonna come off the top bunk. It's gonna land on a pizza, and Juicy Booch is gonna fly in and eat that pizza.
Bucci.
So I don't know if you want that. So how is everyone doing? It's Sunday.
All right, everybody, I'm gonna get off for now. Thank you for being here.
Well, it's a great day outside. It looks like a
But we will be back later. Thank you for hanging out. Fly through space causing problems. All right, see you all later.